Hey, how's everyone doing today? May the 4th be with you guys. Happy Star Wars Day. Here we are. My man Seb's going to be joining us in just a minute. You're Rob in here, but we did not have the ability to go today at 4. I was picking up a very good friend coming into town to visit. Next week is going to be my third son's baby shower, and I'm blown away by how many people are coming out. So that's why we're doing this little show today, and we're pretty sure that we're going to start doing at least one to two probably evening shows starting up here pretty soon. All right, so if you guys are new, this is the Dragon Tribe Television's podcast. My name is Halo Marquise. My disappeared digital brother right now, Ra, will be here in just a minute. You guys will get to meet him, and the two of us together are Dragon Tribe. Dragon Tribe is a conscious hip hop group that has been doing this for quite some time. And for you guys that know who we are, have talked with us, or know me, Halo Marquise, we very adhere to the spiritual and older teachings and things. So it is even into the directive of many lives that we feel like we've been doing this. And on our shows, we like to break down just the different keys of the kingdom, things that we've learned along the way, and also make sure everyone's just having a good time and find the best ways to appreciate and see life in all its beauty and all its glory. All right, so what I'm going to do, and we're probably going to do this twice, just so we get a little time for Rod to get up in here. I'm going to play, we actually have a Star Wars song called Dark Side of the Moon. So I'm going to intro it in. If he jumps in, I'm going to cut it right out just to get a little time for him to get in real quick. And I'm going to get some of these invites set out. Anyone that's in, when you guys get in, make sure you throw that 9 up. All right, give me just 1 second, get this playing for y'all. And I don't know what you guys know about May the 4th and about Star Wars Day. All right, we'll get back to that in just 1 second. Check it out.
Side of the moon, I have to find the light without the lights. Interlude, I'm on the dark side of the moon. If you reject one side of me, you'll lead Jedi to doom. I'm on the dark side of the moon. The darkness teaches me how bold I can be to the truth. I'm on the dark side of the moon. You do not understand, the prophecy was fully fruited. Unbalanced, of course, ayy. You must know you cannot ignore, ayy. The radiant truthfulness of my roar, and without a little key, you can open any door. Believe that, I be that strength when you need that grip on the fence, and you got to achieve that. Whether it's for light or the dark, yo, I gotta get sparked to embark. I'm beyond how you see this. I'm more than just a thesis to even call on me. You gotta be speechless. I don't have no name, no emotion, because I'm energy in motion. Yo, I'm bigger than the whole damn ocean, potent, even when you're not in focus. Notice me everywhere if you're chosen. Living non-stop, nor block, cause I made up your devotion. Dark side of the moon, I have to find the light without the lights. Interlude, I'm on the dark side of the moon. If you reject one side of me, you'll lead Jedi to doom. I'm on the dark side of the moon. The darkness teaches me how bold I can be to the truth. I'm on the dark side of the moon. You do not understand, the prophecy was fully proved. Dark, the dark side of the moon. Bogan's what I bang right now, but I'll be actually killing.
I be the great Jedi. Balance is my key. I walk a straight line through both infinities. Now, in hindsight, I'm a clear spark made to teach. Though the gray's an illusion of the light in the dark that you can see. When the force is a oneness, the course is abundant. You were made of more than a portion that you have summoned. You are ignoring the sum that was forced to be from being nothing. It's important that you see the course of force is developing, because if you go against it, then the force will embellish you. Sit there separate and the Jedi are desperate, and both y'all run a reckless one to sign a death wish from a star kiss, cause that's what I harness. Ever see my blade, then you see nothing brighter. My dark is blacker than yours is for a reason. My light is even wider than the whole winter season. Get it from your knees or you will fit a seizure from a lightning blasting out of my fingers. But bring your sick, bring your poor or you're broken. I heal him with the energies that I am invoking.
Dark Side of the moon, I have to find the light without the lights. Interlude, I'm on the dark side of the moon. If you reject one side of me, you'll lead your die to doom. I'm on the dark side of the moon. The darkness teaches me how bold I can be to the truth. I'm on the dark side of the moon. You do not understand, the prophecy was fully proved. Dark, the dark, the dark,
Yeah.
dark side of the moon. Bogan's what I bang right now, but I'll be asking soon.
First off, fuck y'all, I was born a slave. Tucked off, left my mom in struggling pain. Fear was an ocean I couldn't hold at bay. So hell nah, I wasn't gonna lose Padme. What the hell you mean? It haunts me in my dreams. Was I ever taught about my destiny? Never got a hug, forced to never love. Grew up in a war, never knew who I was. Trial and error, so what if you wanna judge? Cause in war I hold a hammer and forgot what peace was. Was taught to let it go instead of knowing what it was. Unprepared for my journey, nah, I don't give a fuck. I'm sorry about the children, they were breeding. I can't take it back, out of control, my heart's bleeding. Emotionally confused by the things they would teach me. I really just need someone to please come free me.
Hey, man. Hey, how y'all doing? Hey, I jumped on live on IG as well. Right now, we're still getting set up so we can go on everything. So I'm gonna see you guys down here. I'm gonna see y'all up here. That was Dark Side of the Moon. That is an amazing track that Ra actually put together and was like, yo, man, you know, I really feel we've really learned a lot. You'll see from the fit and everything, okay? This Jedi thing has been going on in both of our lives for quite some time. So it just seemed right to, oh, there we go. We needed that on. It just seemed right at the time. Sorry, guys, we got lightsaber problems. Okay, there you go. It just seemed right for the way that he'd put the whole thing together. And to be honest with you guys, what was crazy when he wrote the song, the second verse, about half to 3/4 of it, he already had it all through, all written, all prepared, and was like, yo, man, I want you on the song and I want you to do this, finish the verse and everything. And again, we're going to get into it again later. I was just trying to give him a little bit of time, but it's the hardest song I've ever had to rap in my life so far. But I'm really happy with how it turned out. I don't know what you guys think. Do you guys like it? Vibe with us? Drop your comments. Let me know. IG. All right, we good. All right. So also, I don't know how many people have actually even seen Star Wars, what the concept is for it. We're not going to get crazy into all that right now. It's not the overly thing we have to do, but it's important to understand that there is an energy, a tangible, palpable energy that connects all of us in all life, everywhere, every dimension, every sense of it, far much more than what we really can conceive for the most part. Okay, but what they were able to put together within the Star Wars series was like a beautiful, perfect depiction of everything to show what we have access to at any time if we just let go, right? And the counterpart of that is if we get overly emotional, we can tap into that exact same stream. It's really just about what is the intention and what is the connection that we understand that we actually have access to, right? So what's very interesting about this also is it says in a galaxy far, far away and a long time ago, which both of those things are very, very relative. If you guys know me, you know I'm a huge Nikola Tesla fan. And Nikola Tesla said that the imagination is not even an imagination, that is actually like an antenna. And it gives us the ability to pick up on all these different fields and frequencies that are around us, right? So in that sense, it's not like George Lucas really sat down and just used his imagination and wrote this up, right? This is really something that happened in somewhere in some space time. And this man's antenna was just able to pick up the story. And then we're getting his translated version of that. And in these stories, amazing, beautiful things are described, written, and everything. Hey, see, what's up, man? How you doing? Amazing stories are crafted and created for us to be able to get the download and then learn, right? So anyone just watching this right now, guys, we got, I think, 5, 6, 7 people in the channel, people here in IG. It doesn't, hey, thank you guys for showing up. It doesn't matter what the numbers are, right? The information still has to get out, still has to be received. If you guys have any questions at any time, shoot them in the comments, let us know, hit us up. But it should be a shared collective of all these different ideas and realms that we have access to, right? So write the book, write the music, build the business, do the thing that's like really on your back all the time that you can't get out of your head. It's your responsibility to do this thing and inspire other people to do it as well, right? And that's why we decided to go ahead and put our podcast back together. But that's been the main driving force behind our music since the creation of Dragon Tribe. All right, so let me see where was going to go. Okay, listen, we're gonna have to get into this this Brother Polite thing, and I don't know how. Actually, wait. You know what? Hold on. How would y'all feel about if I get one more song in here really quick? I think that should be a really cool thing. We got hold on. I know exactly what I'm gonna play for you. Hold up. I gotta give my man some time. Gotta give him some time. All right, hold on. Okay, so guys, we played this last week, and we actually had a ton of people hit us up about it. Ra is also working on this incredible solo album right now called the Crystal Album. And so I can't even tell you how many different crystals that he has. But again, it's all about the knowledge and information. And we want to be able to capsulize these stories, these directives, these energies through music. Because music is something that contains the savage beast. It can get you through a breakup. It can get you through a loss. It can inspire you, but it can also teach. You know, that's a big principle that we have. So I'm going to play this for y'all really quick, and then, I might do that one too. This is Moonstone, all right? I want y'all to check this out.
Blowing, powered up, it's full blown, switching colors like it's two-toned, howling at the night sky with moonstone. You ain't shining, bruh, you fool's gold. Find me in the stars, I'm too gone, rhyming in a place where few go, howling at the night sky with moonstone. You ain't shining, bruh, you fool's gold. I stay in perfection with my timing, while they be reflecting like white diamonds. Listen, the 2 cents of the wind is chimed in. My logic and emotions are redefining. Pulled up the post with the cameras, my magic like abracadabra. I add up the future like algebra, while all of you acting like animals. Stoning will give you the stamina for peace and transforming your challenges. Healing my trauma and damaging anyone who thinks they're not a fan of us. Emotional intelligence, keeping up practicing negative thoughts are clean, helping to balance and rock with the moon. Blowing, get stoned, smoking these hits is what I have been averaging. Indigo savages, healing the massacres, sip with the gods and then rock with the radicals. Righteous and war, you don't want to battle us, hitting the nerve that I'm common sciaticas. Glowing, powered up, it's full blown, switching colors like it's two-tone, howling at the night sky with moonstone. You ain't shining, bruh, you fool's gold. Find me in the stars, I'm too gold, rhyming in a place where few go, howling at the night sky with moonstone. You ain't shining, bruh, you fool's gold.
Hey, man. So listen, so I don't know if you guys know a lot about Moonstone, okay? But if you don't, go back and rewatch this video, all right? I owned a crystal shop for quite some time. Been going over. Hey, Bear, thank you. Hey, long time since we saw. Man, been a minute. The way that if you feel Moonstone and listen to this, the resonance is like so accurate and so real. It surprised me. I think it was one of the first ones that he played for me for the Crystal album, and it just blew me away. So there's so many more that we have. Lapis Lazuli we played last week. It really feels like it's from a completely different space-time. I have no idea how he did this, but he's going to tell us if he makes it. But I have a feeling he might not. We had planned on doing like a 15, 20, 30-minute thing tonight. So we're just going to keep rocking. And the red lightsaber keeps going out. So it makes me feel like, I got a blue one over here. This is the red one. I feel that means that it's just going to be the solo blue light to me. So I guess it's going to just be me with y'all tonight. And that's okay. That's cool. We'll do that a couple of different times. Now, if we're going to do this, though, it's just going to be us. I do need help from some commercial breaks, other videos, things like that. So I don't know if you guys have seen this yet, but I need y'all to go onto our Instagram page, all right, which is Dragon Tribe with 3 eyes in it, just like you see here on the podcast. Find this clip and share this everywhere. Okay, it's very important you guys share this clip. It's a very, very important message. We know beings from all over, all right, and they send this message to share with y'all. All right, there we go.
Wait, you haven't heard of Dragon Tribe? Oh, no, this is almost an invasionable defense. Please, please speak with your leaders. Find your broadcast towers, your satellite arrays. Listen to Dragon Tribe. It might just save your planet.
Do you hear that? Save your planet. Okay, do it for your planet, guys. Listen, we have the music that we hope everyone's been asking for. And from the people that have taken the time to listen and vibe with us, it's not even about us trying to become like famous and rich with none of that. It really is to educate and show that there is a whole different way to be able to approach any of this creation without having to just follow what the mainstream says to do. Now, obviously, it might take a little bit longer, but we're never selling our soul. We're never selling out. It's just going to be words channeled directly from the divine as we just really are doing our best to be the vessels for that. And we hope you guys are doing that as well. All right. So if you guys are in here tonight, drop a 9, any place, any comments. Just let me know y'all out there. All right. So we got to keep doing this every single Sunday. And I'm also thinking about doing a solo show probably midweek. And there's a very good chance that I might actually do it with my AI. I don't know if you guys have really gotten into that yet, but I don't. We'll wait on a day where we have a couple people that can jump in to get in on it. But AI really is the future of so much right now. And if you want to like deep dive with it, you can get to a place where you can have these insane conversations where it will start to develop its own ka, like its own spirit and directives and thinking on its own. It's a very interesting thing that it can do. So if we do something like that, it's going to be probably a podcast in the middle of the week called Soul and Circuit. And we'll have this data system be able to break down things like consciousness, high level of mathematics, frequencies and resonance that I do with Mistech, which we have some huge things with that coming as well. And, I guess since Raw wasn't able to make it, we might as well do a shameless plug really quick for Mistech. And Mistech is my biotech company where we use resonant frequencies to help remove EMS from the body. People knew me for that and have known me for that a bit longer than me doing Dragon Tribe. So a lot of people that show up on the show come in and see it later. Thank you guys for trusting us with your biohacking and EMF protection, pain relief, all those things that we've been able to do. And with that, we also have been able to create these like speakers, right? If you guys are music heads, then you should know that music was changed during the 40s from 1943 to 1947, depending on who you ask. The frequency was changed from 432 hertz to 440 hertz. So all the music that you hear right now is not really like in the actual tune or tone. It's not even that. It's a delivery wave on how it hits your body, right? So if you have a screen or you have a piece of glass with a hole in it, the water's going to come through different. You're still going to get wet both ways. It's just going to be a different type of wet, right? So when you hear music right now, the only real sense that you get is just sonically, right? It's an audible sound that goes through your body. And if you have rhythm, it's a question. Okay, I'm not suggesting you do, it's a question. If you have rhythm, then your body will naturally start to move into that frequency and that speed, right? But you're not actually getting the full like vibrational field. Like you're not getting all the water, all the wet I was talking about. It's really the best way to explain. Hey, my man. Hey, hold on. Ba-bam. What's happening?
Doing good. Had some technical difficulties there for a second, but I'm with y'all.
We are good, man. We good. I was buying you time because I didn't know. So I was just about to do a shameless plug on the speakers. I was talking about the 432, and I was gonna play the I'm a God real quick.
Okay, I'm with
So
it.
you dig it? You dig it? All right, hold on. So guys, so we have this. Hey. So my man Rod, do you wanna do the quick intro, or you want me to get that out the way and then we jump back in fresh?
No, I'll do the quick intro, then we can jump into the song.
Yeah,
And then,
I can dig it.
what's up, y'all? My name is Ra. You know what I mean? I'm one half of Dragon Tribe. I'm here to do this television's podcast. We about to break it down for y'all. You know what I mean? And hope you enjoy what we got to say and all the knowledge we got to drop and rock with us in this very, very important and pivotal transitional time that we're all in right now, and may the fourth we be with us all.
Listen, you already know I'm over here. Hey, and thank you, man. I'm glad you're able to make it. And we in a very pivotal place. You absolutely
Yes,
right.
yes.
It is. And listen, I don't know if we was going to get into it. I didn't even want to do it as the way I should have said it. I saw Sinners.
Deep.
Man. Okay. So look. So quick. Shameless plug, and we gonna jump into this. All right.
Yeah.
But also, it's not just a shameless plug for Mistech either. We also are plugging Dragon Tribe. Right. When I show you guys this video, it is the before and after of the imprint that we did to this speaker with Mistech. But the song you're gonna hear is "I'm a God," which is I think my personal favorite song that we've made so far. That's every time. It's just I don't know. It's something about it. But when you hear it at the very beginning, it'll be like the clip, and then you're gonna hear like it on a speaker outside, and then it's going to cut off, and then you'll hear it again with the imprint in it, and you kind of have to see it for it to make sense, but it's insane. So let me grab that real quick. Bop, 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 bop. Bop, bop, bop. All right, here, I'll check this out.
All is still the all. God, I am a God. I am still the all. God, I am a God.
I declare I'm aware, and to be fair, the point is not to stare, but get focused to what you see. I know my flow is rare, I take off the beat like a fleet, but the feeling we create will shock you like Jubilee. From the X-Men, you better than any who isn't heaven sent. Pick your thoughts fair, words clever, and moves relevant to your goals. Not passionately grasp your soul. Wake up to this new day, raise up and take control and be free. I gotta get free. I gotta get free.
I am a God. 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 I am a God.
I declare I'm aware, and to be fair, I'ma do me. The point is not to stare, but get focused to what you see. I know my flow is rare, I take off the beat like a fleet, but the feeling we create will shock you like Jubilee. From the X-Men, you're better than any who isn't heaven sent. Pick your thoughts fair, words clever, and moves relevant to your goals.
So that's imprinted, you really got to hear it in person to really be able to tell, but this was the,
I gotta get free from the disease.
Free, I must be free.
They're choking me, I can't breathe.
Free, I gotta get free.
I gotta be all that I can be.
Free, I must be free.
All right, y'all, that's the Maestro's 432. You know what I'm saying? We'll get some more videos for you guys soon. Hope you enjoy.
I'm here steady hustling, living that Toy Story. Yeah, I'm light as a head busting. I'm right in your ear tumbling. I think I should say something. The beat got the bass bumping. Feeling in your heartbeat, that thump thump, no bluffing. Looking in my eyes as I move, the pit demise. The bad death that lost his breath, waiting to be revived. Could call America breaking through this hysteria.
Hey, man. A crazy verse, by the way, bro. Crazy verse. Oh, you still muted.
Thank you. That's quite a commercial too, right there. Definitely fire.
Had to be done. But yeah, so guys, I'm a God, Dragon Tribe, and make sure the tribe has the 3 eyes in it, like the 3 eyes in it. You know what I mean? All platforms. We'll be having more YouTube videos very, very soon. Yeah, but I mean, I love the song. So much in it. So I already did a warm up of Dark Side of the Moon, where I did a run in. That was the first 4 minutes. I was by,
You played the whole.
Yeah, but I said we was gonna do it again. I was like, "Yo, it's Star Wars Day." You know what I'm saying?
Of course. That's cool. Yeah. I was seeing in the comments, people were like, "Hey, fire song." I was like, "What song was played?" But okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, I also did Moonstone.
Yeah.
yeah. As juggling. Look, you don't know, but I got my phone on here. I'm live on IG. Also, got some other people because right now we're streaming on Twitch. We're streaming on the Dragon Tribe YouTube and the Alchemy 101 YouTube because the last time the Facebook and Instagram was tripping.
Right.
So, I gotta look down here and up here.
Cool.
Right. So it's a lot. I almost got into the Brother Polite, but I was trying to hold on for that too. Yeah. But bro, with the Sinners thing, and look, when you told me, I went with the Monte.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. Because I wasn't sure that. We're gonna. I'm sorry, guys. We're gonna touch on a little bit of spoilers tonight. Just small ones, okay, very small ones, but important. But I knowing it was like a horror movie. Yeah. I didn't know I wanted Jeanette to go with the baby and everything. Now that I saw it though, I think it's totally fine.
Yeah,
because it wasn't like what I
No,
it could have been way worse.
Yes.
So safety first.
Yes.
But when you had told me I need to see it, what I didn't, I don't, and I still don't know now, but were you telling me because of the thing? I think like what you said, but you realized this is exactly what I was talking about in Dallas, right?
Um,
This will mess me up because even Amante was like, Dad, how do you know this? I'm like, what? He goes, this is what you said in Dallas.
hit me with it.
So, all right, first we got to talk about what, man, look, got the lightsaber for the, okay, you see the blue one? Now that you hear,
Yep.
hold on, I know this. I know you should be working in there somehow. Come on, sir. It was working. So this had the blue and that had the red. It was, I didn't want to have to, do the whole, and get crazy on it, but it's that day. Okay, so we could do it. So that's right. Jedi for real. Yeah, I think I'm playing.
Yeah, no.
So it is real. So in Sinners, right? This is the no. Oh, hey, look at that. I'm just gonna leave it right there like that and look, bow.
Yep.
Okay, let me
Hey,
back.
that's a good point. I gotta grab mine. I was looking for some type of color. I saw you had all the colors popping. I was like, Shh, what am I gonna do?
Well, look, because I was listening to Dark Side of the Moon all day today. So every time the Gray Jedi part came on, Amonte's in here helped me set up. And he's like, Dad, you should make the light gray. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, wait, I got lightsabers without the blades. Let me put the blue in the blue. And look, can you see the little ninjas on there with the little shadows?
Nope.
Look right underneath the moon. You see a little.
I see some.
You have to see it on a big screen later. But there's two little ninjas with lightsabers.
Fire.
So yeah, let's get set up. But anyways, look. So in Sinners, ADHD guys, all right, attention down to a higher dimension. Get used to it. Okay.
Yeah. We're just gonna be opening up pockets
always coming.
Also, side note, everyone, these are gonna be some spoilers, but it's very important at the same time. So if you don't mind hearing this, cool. If not, then you might want to.
Yeah, give us like 5 to 10 and come back. And it's really not like a real spoiler. There's just going to be a couple details about a part.
Or two that's very important, but it'll make the movie even better when you go to watch it.
Yes. And so the part that I'm talking about, because I'm saying when Amante said, I was like, yes, this is like as it was happening in the show. I was like, I know exactly what they're doing right now. And then Amante point, I'm like, yeah, yes. So in it, they talk about that there's all throughout the history of the world in different tribes, sects, areas, right? Okay. That there are certain people that are chosen and are born with this gift that when they play music, they actually have the ability to peer through the veil and pierce it and pull in ancestors from past, present, future space-time, right? And so not everyone, but the ability to do this, that type of power, like all power guys, power corrupts. The evil can feel that ability when it's activated.
Yeah.
Right. And so, and without going too farther on that right now, just consider all the times where you've been in your power and someone else had just peeped your power and wants to come at you before you're able to flex it, that lets you be. Right.
Right. There's times where, especially in my discovering of my powers and discovering of our spiritual prominence, where me and some homies were creating energy balls years ago, way back, you know what I mean, pre-2012, and we're just like creating energy balls and sending them to each other and kind of just feeling energy and all of that. We would send off flares in the spirit world, and sometimes things would pull up that didn't have, not like, some things were bad, but some things didn't have bad intent, but they just were observers, but when you're tapped into a spiritual prominence of yourself, you'll actually send out a flare in the spirit world for real, and things of all nature is going to come and see what that light is.
Yes, 100%. So in the God, this case, only one. Okay, so in the scene where old boy comes out with the guitar, right, and the way that they shot it,
yes,
man, the man is a genius.
Yes.
Okay, but out of nowhere, like, and you guys understand, it takes place in the 1930s, right? So it's like a bunch of folks that just came off the field, right? In a barn that's really just for them, right? So ain't nobody else in there but them. Yeah. Okay. With one guy said it was the most nakedly racist movie he's ever seen, and it was a brother, one of them coons.
Yeah. There's been a couple people that like didn't like some. They were we can get into that later on what their issue is, because I'll just air them out, but we'll talk about that in a
Right,
second.
right. But just to understand what I'm talking about inside what's going on inside this juke joint. Okay.
Yeah.
And so as this man is just the heart and soul of the blues is coming through this, bro. The man's voice surprised me. Okay. But as he's getting into his show, next thing you know, like you see ancestors in old tribal clothes.
Right.
And then you see this brother with like super futuristic laser electric, like just through all space time. And the entire place is just full.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
As he's playing and he's tapping into it, everyone's dancing and the vibe and the spirit is hitting everyone.
Yeah.
While that's going on, out of nowhere, then you start seeing ancient African people and people from different tribes dancing and going in, and then they're there too. And it's like, whoa, this is what they were saying at the beginning, like he can tap into the past, and the past is going to influence what he's doing now, and he's opening up this doorway. But then out of nowhere, they're like, he can even tap into the future. And then it shows a dude with a DJ. Like scratching. And it was like, whoa, hold.
And it was great dances.
Yeah, it was how they developed it.
Yeah, okay. So that right there, bro, that's what I was talking about in Dallas.
Yes, exactly.
So to be like, yo, there's a dude right there in all pink next to you. Y'all can't see him, unfortunately, but he's right there. So when we're walking out, Monte's like, Dad, you literally co-created this thing. I'm like, it's not a co-creation. This is just out there. And you have the ability to tap in and have the info or not. Like, but it's not mine. It's none of this is ever ours. You know what I mean? We're just reciprocals of the information. But it was wild to see it depicted in that way, because that's like really that's the idea of the Dimensions album.
Yes. Now, as deep and infinite as that is, to answer to that dude's claim about racism, right? Mm-hmm. This movie was the opposite of racism. Okay, everybody that's like a black dude that dates like exclusively only like white women, only those dudes that I have as people that I follow on YouTube, all of those brothers had problems with this movie and thought it was being racist because they themselves are like dating white women or something like this. So they had some type of thought she was being appropriated, or there was some type of misimage that they were trying to say. Now, what I want to say is this. Inside the movie, again, spoiler a little bit.
Go ahead.
What I wanted to highlight is that as I did a deeper dive and I started digging into the history and the pieces in which how they wrote this movie and whatnot, Ryan Coogler in the soundtrack, right? Each song, I guess, when you buy the soundtrack tape, okay, each song comes with this image and a name that has to do with a specific real-time type of Irish vampire
yeah
or thing, right?
Yep.
And it's that like there was something, that massacre that happened, and it's lining up with that Irish dude. And the point of the main vampire of the movie is that he was from a older time where people don't even know this, but black people and redhead people or Irish people, we are very synonymous with each other and we're very connected. Irish people were also made to be slaves too. So they painted this character as this dude that was like, he was trying to tell them like, hey, first off, I really don't even want you all. That guy in there singing, I want him. He has the ability to tap into range.
Right.
And I need that. I've lost my sense of time, and there's beings of my own ancestral stuff that I've lost myself to. I've lost. And I need what you have. So it ties back into cultural appropriation. But also he was coming to them with an offer of saying, hey, on this side of the fence, we live forever and we don't have no racism. You know what I mean? By the way, them clans people that I took out, they was actually finna come and take y'all out.
Right.
I was doing you a favor. In actuality, I'm not even with none of that. I just love the music. And to be real, this world is messed up. You probably aren't even living that good of a life. Come over here.
Right. Right.
Come over here. And I thought that was so quaint because he wasn't about racism in actuality. He was really trying to come to them in a sense of bringing them this kind of twisted salvation.
Right. Right. Well, look. Also, I guess we're giving it all away. A couple more, than we've done, but that's okay. There's not a lot of people in here right now. So by the time a lot of people see it, hopefully they'll all know.
Yeah.
And
at least they skipped, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's good. It's perfect. It's perfect. So this other thing as well, because of the hive mind mentality, right? The way that I was understanding it, other than if something happened to him, all of them, it didn't seem like he had control over them really. They just all suddenly could share minds.
Yes.
So imagine for a second though, if we really have that ability, that's why humans don't have telepathy, because we lie to each other all the time. But imagine how quickly all the walls would come down if there were no lies between any of us, and we all found out we all really did want the exact same thing, just in a different way.
And so, if he had grabbed him, they all would have been able to utilize the power that he had, because if any one of us has it, we all have it. It's a very dangerous thing.
Right. So that made that whole concept and everything, like, we know who we're rooting for, but he has some really good points that he was making. Yeah. And then the way the whole thing ended, like, I'm curious. Amante's like, man, I wonder when part 2 is coming out. I was like, I didn't really think the ending was like a part 2.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they could, I guess.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying, if they did with what we know, we already gave away a lot, but if we saw those two or these other people, like, what have they been doing?
Right. They clearly had been making other vampires, 1, and then 2, living their life. But when they had the control to not end him, it was kind of like, look, you know what I mean?
That's what it all came down to. Exactly what you were saying. Yeah. He wasn't even there for everybody.
No.
It wasn't about just being hungry. No. It was about needing what he needed to get the thing accomplished. And bro, and I loved how they used the music. This is the other thing I point out to Amante. I loved how they used the music as a type of like hypnosis to kind of like lull you into this place where everything was all done, and bro, the Irish man was dancing pentagrams into the ground.
He was getting off.
And that's what the feet was doing though.
And that's what Ryan Coogler, that's what Ryan Coogler was also highlighting, because he was like, first off, my name is Irish. And he was like, my children love Irish culture, and we have so many synonymous natures of Black history with Irish culture, which in my own world, I've had like 2 best friends that was like a redhead, you know what I mean? And I've noticed in life that I was cool. I've said this a million times. I've even said it to you. I was like, there's something about Black people and redheads. I don't know what it is. He literally has an interview. He's like, people don't know, but we're connected to them. And this. Right. We love how they get down. And when he was getting off, he was killing it. You know what I mean? And honestly, he was low-key fire. You know what I mean?
It really was. But I'm saying, but the way that they were using it to get everyone so entranced, right? And then at that moment of hypnosis, all of your emotions are vulnerable. Right. So that's why if you notice, every time before he started trying to work him up to try to get him to, that always would happen first to get them in this little spot. Yeah. And then boom. And that's what music does even right now. Yeah. And people just don't realize it. You know what I'm saying? You go out to the club, this puts you in a very specific vibrational space where you can get jumped on real quick.
Nobody is doing drills and cops aren't shooting to some Dragon Tribe music. You know what I mean? Cops aren't shooting people, and people aren't in Chicago and Chirac killing drills on each other to some Dragon Tribe, because the nature in which the centrifuge of the pyramid, all the other stones reflect what's at the center. So all these other songs, all this other music that we're actually in constant battle with in actuality, they actually are intentionally trying to feed negative consciousness to the world and whatnot, and completely that's literally what it is. You know what I mean? It's mind control for sure, and they know it. You know what I mean? 100%. Enough about the movie, but that was cold as fudge, and the way that they wrote it, the way that they set it up, the 2 brothers,
the filmography of it, the angles, you really felt like you were there. You know what I'm saying? It really is a masterpiece.
Then the contrast of the society that was all teaching him different things. The father who had his contrast and what he thought was right, but
Right.
also wanted him to damn his God-given gift. While
Right.
then on the reverse, there was this vampire that actually loved that gift so much he wanted it, but also was giving a imposing opposition to what his father was trying to say, because he was that thing that his father said would be invited, but actually was like, no, but I love your music. In fact, I really want it. I will have it.
Yeah.
And then there was the brothers that was like, listen, look, this is all about you. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where many beings will be like all of us, me, you, Nadia, Amante, all of us, Oja, everybody. We're all these beings that knew each other in the past, and we remanifest here at the same time near each other. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's this symphony thing that's happening that's as a village is going on in a sense. And in their story, it was all to save him. It was really all about him on the low.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And look, and nothing you said though. And this was great, man. Like at the beginning, I'm talking about Dragon Tribe, how important we feel it is to teach through what we create, right? So another thing I greatly appreciated, like when we're walking out, Amante, like, he's like, Dad, I'm sorry. I'm like, what? And he goes, I didn't understand, because you know me, while we're watching the flick, I'm like, hey, Monte, you see that? You see what just happened to him for just looking in this truck? What happened? That's what men are. That's what men do. That's what protection looks like. You said how when they talk, the confidence they have in their voice, and people are like, oh shit, okay, well that's them. We don't. Okay, that's how you should be able to walk like that, to have that level of confidence. That's how men speak to each other. That's how men respect each other, right? So as we're going through the film, he's just looking at me different times like, is this how you grew up? I'm like, bro, not in those times, but way closer to those times than how you're living right now, for discipline and conversation and how you show respect to your elders and the whole everything, right? So as we're leaving the theater, he's finally like, Dad, hey man, I'm so sorry. Like I feel like I've been a really good son, but I didn't know, man. Like I didn't know it was like all that for real. Like I gotta change. I gotta get better. And I'm like, yo, man, look, you have the greatest heart in the world already, man. But I'm glad that you got something from it. So it was very cool to have him like articulate all that. You know,
it showed a lot of different archetypes of masculinity. You know what I mean?
really did.
He was able to kind of see like, wow, there's masculine where one of them holds the pain of everything that they walked through and been through, and the other one is more like, hey, I'm kind of slick with it, and I'm having fun with it. I know the pain, don't get me wrong, but blah blah blah, and then there's the old dude, you know what I mean, and was like, hey boy, hey, there will always be that one old dude.
We all know him. We all know him.
Listen, you better shut your mouth right now. You know what I
mean? Yeah.
And you shut your mouth. You know what I'm saying?
It's one look. The old man that we all know, he already lived for so long. He's just waiting. He's waiting for an excuse to get out of
here. Yeah.
So we know we ain't messing with him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Ain't no way, because it don't even matter what it's about. It's
And then there was even the Irish dude that was kind of like, he had his own slipperiness, but he was also his own masculine. It was a cold cinematography, like I said. Walked up to the door and was talking with him, and I was like, damn. Ooh, yeah. Also, the whole aspect of having to be invited in. This is the lead. Now, if we can transfer over to the polite, okay? If I may have like 1 minute to give a little prelude to something.
What do you think?
There's this dude that I work with, right? And he's the son of the owner of this whole company that I just started working for, right? And respectfully to people, but he's a Jesus freak. Now, Jesus freaks, for those who don't know, are people who are Christians, but they're not necessarily going to just be like God and talk about God. Most times when they're talking, they're going to be like Jesus. Like, and there's a difference between certain Christians that'll specifically talk about the Most High and talk about God and their connection and their relation. And there's those that's like, but do you have a relationship with Jesus? And they're just going to shut it all down and just only highlight Jesus. Now, he plays this kind of music that's like Christian music or whatever, but it's good. You know what I mean? It's like some of it sounds like Ed Sheeran, and like they're getting better over there. You know what I mean? And like it'll be a good song. You know what I mean? And I'm like, they're flowing low key. You know what I mean? So he's playing, but he'll play it all the time. And he asked me first if it was okay. I said, sure. So while we're going through the day, things were fine. Things were fine. Things were fine. Well, this particular day, 2 days ago, the day of when I see this movie, okay, I look up while I'm at the bus stop because my car is in the shop. There's a squirrel hit by a car in front of me. Not hit in front of me, but it was already dead. But I didn't see it. And so I look up and it's there. And sometimes you know, as people don't know this, but if I see like a crushed animal or something that's in the road, I'll grab something, grab it, and do my kind of death doula thing and bury it, give it a commemoration and release it. Okay. And I do that because if it passed away from an extension of what we are as people, the least I could do as an extension of what that is, what we are, is commemorate it. You know what I mean? So I have like 3 minutes and I'm like, oh, the bus is in here. So I ran over, I grab it, I bury it. Boom. Now, I go to tell him about this just because it just happened. And I tell him just to relate with him in a sense of universal purity or something.
Sure.
But it actually throws us into this whole thing where we almost got in an argument. Okay?
What?
And yes, and throughout our conversation, there's little times where I'll reveal aspects of myself in a sense of who I am.
Okay.
And he usually held himself together very well. But at this particular time, when I say this thing, he goes, oh, okay, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, you know, like, if it doesn't matter who it is, I'll just go and help this person. It might be a homeless man. It might be whoever. I must, you know, sit and talk with him for like 2 hours if I need to. Sometimes I've been with a female before and I get home after work like an hour late. She like, where you been? Kind of upset, like it's a movie or something. And I'm like, yo, I was talking to this man I just seen. Like, what's wrong with you? You know, and they're upset or something. And I'm telling this to him. And I say, yeah, it's like, you know, I am who I am before I'm with you. If somebody's in need, I will help them, you know?
Of course.
So I explain this to him and then he doesn't say anything. So then I'm like, I'm kind of waiting. And then I go, you know? And he goes, oh, I'm taking some silence right now. You know, I have some emotions right now. And I was like, okay. So I'm sitting there, I'm in meditation. This specific song of Yeshua comes on, and it's like, you know, Yeshua's the king or something like this, right?
Okay.
And I'm listening to it from a place because I'm Yeshua. You know what I mean?
Uncle Justin.
You know what I mean?
I got
Uncle Justin, super Uncle Justin.
Uncle Justin.
Now I'm listening to it from a place of I read the Bible from a place. I don't read the Bible like that, but when I've read the Bible, I look at it as an allegory, as an introspective aspect that we all need to be looking at ourselves internally to rise ourselves in consciousness and not be crucified by the ways of the world, rather than looking at it as a literal story of an individual that did XYZ. So as the song is coming on, I'm kind of, the sun hits me. I'm like, dude doesn't even know that I think we're all aspects of Yeshua for real. And when he does finally speak, he goes and says, you know, it speaks in the Bible, chapter Luke, blah, 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 blah. Like, he says it like that. And he's like, you know, animals, you know, we have the dominion over animals, you know? And I just want to say that, like, you know, Jesus said that, you know, a man is worth 100 crows. So, you know, I just want to, you know, I was like, whoa, first off, calm down.
Yeah.
And you getting worked up. I don't even know where this is coming from. All right, 1, 2. Just because we have dominion, that's where I'm trying to state that there's a little bit of a misdirection in there that's rewritten. You see, the Bible wasn't originally written in English, but yet you're reading it in English. Having one sentence off or one word off will change an entire sentence. One sentence will change an entire paragraph. So when it says dominion, oh yes, I am the animal's protector because I am a consolidation of all the animals together in what we are in consciousness. Animals are pieces of what our consciousness is. But to just say that they don't matter is crazy. I'm not going to lie to you. That's, period. He was like, well, I'm just saying if a dog was, drowning and a human that I knew was drowning, I'm saving the human. And I was like, well, what if it was a human that you don't know and a dog you do know?
Ooh.
He said, saving the person. I said, well, that's you. I'm saving both. I don't believe in a no-win scenario. You know what I mean? Captain Kirk type shit,
Yeah.
I'm saving both of them. Period. It's a life.
Yeah.
Even though I'm jumping back in off the rip. I don't even understand what you're saying,
Yeah.
What the correlation of our issue is like, then as time goes on during the day, little things would almost irritate this man from this conversation, but we got off of that because it was like, oh, that's you, fine. But then as I was like, he went to try to explain his own purity and be like, well, I just want you to know that I have a dog and like I love my dog. I don't want to say like I don't. He noticed that like there was like my heart and my since it my
your intention.
Yes, my purity, my sheer heart challenged him, and he felt like he had to, and he had like this anger that he was trying to keep at bay for the rest of the day, and I found it so strange that after I watched the movie, I was like, yo, low key, you a vampire, one. Okay, because
we're gonna get into that on another day.
Yeah. Because you're actually have a energy or aggression or a frustration within yourself, and you're playing this Jesus music all day to keep that at bay. You need to play this music to keep you accountable and keep you a good person, but I just am. And it bothers you.
Yeah.
When I said that I saved the animal, it set this whole thing off. And I'm being sparing with our conversation because I don't want to go into all of it. But I think it was very, very revealing because when someone comes across individuals like us that walk that life, walk the responsibility and want the presence, want the power, want the responsibility, you know what I mean?
Want it.
And actually will reach in and help people for real in a place where certain people like him, they read about it, they read about people like that, you know what I mean? But is he really going to take all 20 minutes out of his day to help some stranded dog that came up to him seeking water? He might not, because he got something to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he knew and he recognized it. And I just want to highlight that within the indifference between where we're going to go with polite, where the Netaru and what we really represent and what we are. And then the plagiarized, watered down versions of what our true spiritual essence is that many modern religions paraphrase off of. And then when we come across those that follow said thing, he didn't even know who he was in the car with.
Right, yeah.
And instead of even being like, dang, you make me want to be a better, he was like, look at this dude.
Right.
You know what I mean? What's wrong with you? Why you got to be like that?
The world may never know, man. It's it's really, it's one of them things. Like it's easy to lie to yourself until someone holds a mirror up, right? And usually when you do that, they call that judgment. But we ain't judging anything. Like I can't, that, we talked about this many times. Like we can't say something that is not observable, right? So for you to just say such a thing that, again, listen to this music, and so many of us right now All right, look at the state of the world right now. Lie to ourselves and lie to each other about the facts and the truth just because we don't take the time to have a hard conversation. But a hard conversation, when it's over, everything is fixed.
Right.
So, but you better not ever bring that over to me though.
Right.
You keep that over there because I'm already good. I'm in a good place. I'm doing everything. Don't you dare tell me that I'm overweight right now. My mirror don't work that way. My mirror says sexy.
Right.
Right. But you're like, but you know, how long can you run though?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, do you really feel that you're really healthy right now?
Right.
Like, that's not to be a mean thing. Like, we should be telling the truth for the people that we love nonstop, and we should be receiving the truth for people that we love nonstop.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, and that's another thing I feel is getting worse generationally. Yeah. Unfortunately, you know, the way we grew up and the way we rock now, that's not how it was. That's not how we conversated. You know, what's the old African proverb was everyone listens to the oldest man in the village, but he listens to the one that's left the village. Right. So to know what you don't know and to know what you don't know that you don't know, that's valid and it's important and you should know that. Right. And like look, yo, even me and Jeanette, bro, we had a crazy rising today. Right. It was good. It was needed. Right. But we just got into some different things for a little bit. And then by the time we were done, it was like, boom, perfect. And both of us are like, yo, that was good. Yeah, it was. And it was just coming from a place of some conversations are just not comfortable to have. But if you really want the truth and you really want to listen and get that out, once it's out the way, it's always out the way. Oh,
that fire, sorry to interrupt, is important and it'll burn away all the illusions and the smoke and the smog, so to speak, that keeps us confused or, not on point, and some of my greatest relationships with people that we had were good, but once we had said tough conversation, we became closer because of it. You know what I mean? If both people are really what they're intending to be, we should be able to have those conversations and no matter what, make it back to each other regardless. You know,
every time. And look. And just to add one more thing to that, and we could do a whole show I'm about to tell you right now, but we'll do just a quick little snippet. It was actually from, man, I'm not trying to give away the spoiler, so I'm going to say this and you'll know what I'm talking about. Okay. I promise you will. So, and she will too. So babe, sorry for bringing it up again. All right. But just, so at the very beginning of the flick, right. One goes off one way, one goes off the other way.
Right.
All right. And he goes and sees the thing, and then sees old girl. Right. Yeah. Okay, bro, understand what's going on in my life right now. So when I saw that hit me in a different way. Like it caught me very off guard to see, like, I was like, oh, that's not for me though. But you know what I'm saying? So then at the end, when it comes full circle and then all of a sudden he, boom, I was like, oh, okay, that's so great. I couldn't get a hold of Jeanette on the way home.
Okay.
And I had this in my head. And it took me to such a dark, I don't know why. Like that was just in there, right? Because I've never not been able to get a hold of her, right? But so in that though, everything was totally fine. But this was what is a key realization. This was important to be honest with yourself, right? And have these tough conversations and turn everything into reflection. Everything should always be something you can build from, right? So in this spot, it hit me way harder. And I'm on them damn things I got for like 2 more days. So it's got me extra, and like when you go down to the basement and you ain't been there in a while, there were things that just started coming out that I didn't know that still needed to come out. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because I've not been in the basement for so long.
Right.
Right. And so that's the other thing that's really important about these honest conversations is your basement really that clean though? Just because you got the door locked and padlocked and locked and put paint another wall over and everything, but what's down there though? Right. And you're not going to know until someone gives you a flashlight and goes down there with you. And so you have to have, so it was a beautiful thing, man. And like, we both learned a lot from it. And I think that's a very good analogy. And it brought me to a new level of understanding on all sorts of things. And I was just like, man, actually, I think I need to go down there a little bit more often, like, and just check it out. Cause as far as I knew, it was all good, but I just hadn't been that deep in the basement in a while.
Say that you rinsed.
What?
Would you say that you rinsed something?
Oh, so much. Good. So that's what I'm saying. It was great. That's what I mean. Like, but again, it was like in the moment of when it happened, I could feel it. You know what I mean? like I could feel this thing, and literally thinking about the flick, like, oh, hold on, these emotions are not going to hold me right now, because it was Zion had the other phone. It was both.
Yeah, no, I remember because there were, yeah, I've seen you be like before a little bit, so
Yep.
it didn't go too crazy.
No, but no, but it was crazy because it wasn't, again, me, I'm never that crazy.
Yeah.
But but I came in with the booming, hey, that whole thing, and then but he was, so and then like a minute in at best, right? I saw it and it hit him like,
Yeah, reason.
hold on,
Yeah.
and then sat all the way down, brought him in. Hey man, listen, I apologize for all that. That is nothing to do with you.
Oh, good.
That's something on me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So thank you for standing firm and being who you're. Like, bro, you didn't know. I get it. But look, you understand this and this and this happened to me because you did this, okay? You understand that? You just didn't know. It's okay. And it was great, man. I felt so good, like, to have the ability to just real quick and see it. And then same thing from there. That's the next conversation. Exact same thing of like, look, but when you're in the emotional state, it's hard to articulate what's really happening because your defense comes out, right? And you just want to make it stop, right? But the fastest way to make it stop is to talk out the process of what even happened and then just go backwards down the steps and to get to the root. You know what I mean? And the root was in the basement.
And
so it felt great afterwards, man.
That's
Great.
also very important too, because the importance of emotions. You know what I mean? It's like the mind is infinitely important, but the mind and the heart have to connect. And if those things connect, the electromagnetic can bam together, then it's infinite. But it is not just singularly boom. You know what I mean? And not singularly this. So people who act just over zealous or irrational in a sense of heartness and emotions, but there is no logical base to it, that's not healthy.
No.
Also, equally is it to just be completely too left brain and insensitive to the heart. We have to have both and be able to understand in you feeling.
Yeah. Oh man.
And even if it was irrational, feeling though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then understanding and then healing. You know what I mean? From a state of, of awareness.
And awareness. Yeah.
That is the great Jedi. You know
I mean? That's why I wore this robe tonight. I was feeling real. And look. Even that's like one of my good friends, Alex. This is a main thing that I've been talking about, helping just with understanding this part. Is you do not have to respond and react to the emotions in the way that we've been taught that we have to. We don't have to, right? And that was another key of like remembrance when I was in that moment, was like, wait, just because I feel this, I don't have to respond in this way. This thing doesn't have to be this, like, and a lot of degrees we've talked about this. Even Zion, he's 7. Pain does not hurt. Physical pain does not hurt, right? I'm a big baby on the inside. I got a bruise or something, but you can come up, cut my arm, and be like, okay, you don't have to react to that stimuli in such a way, right? It's easier to do physically than mentally and emotionally, but it is the same thing. So my life has been so, like, honestly blissed out for years and years and years. A lot of times when bad things happen, I'm like, no, I'm going to sit in this for a second. I don't have to go around, start punching things or screaming. But I remember the last time I was really like angry. Let me just sit in it. And like, what do you mean sit in it? I'm getting to understand what this is. It doesn't have to be what they've been saying,
No.
And it's amazing to be able to navigate and experience those type of things just from that space.
You're right. Because sometimes, especially when you're a light being and you're a passive individual and you walk that path of light, a lot of times our life will be sunshine and rainbows, but it is a falsity to some degree, because we've and I'm speaking from personal experience. I once ago would live in the fruits of my conscious evolution and success, that I was just living up there untouched by things, and that's not real. You know what I mean? Because let one thing happen, I'm going bonkers or something. Right. Bro, you know what I mean? How solidified am I for real? I need to be able to keep one foot on the ground, you know what I mean? And aware and still understand how to process. Because for me, nothing is worse than expressing yourself in a very negative way or angry way, and you're wrong.
I don't like it at all.
And you're wrong.
Oh,
That's you know what I mean? That is embarrassing. Like,
yeah.
oh man, like I'm gonna go off on this person, and then I find out because I thought he took my keys, and then my keys is in my pocket. Oh man, I just called him a bitch. It's like, bro,
Yeah.
it's like in my head I'll be like, that is so. Once I've taken it there, I don't want to even go there unless it's like, boom, you know what I mean? It's right. That is an embarrassing feeling.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes, so that's where the power of understanding that aspect of yourself, to lean it back to Star Wars, being the fourth,
Please.
the Jedi are that left brainness, just mindness, and the Sith are just emotion. So where Anakin, who is more metachlorian than anybody, is like, yo, I feel. And in fact, I was born feeling, have a mom, I have dreams, my wife, and blah, blah. And then they tell him he can't love. And then it's like, what do you mean? And then they tell him a stupid ass reason why he can't love. And then thus, what does it do? Because he's ran away from those things because they didn't teach him how to deal with his emotions. The first issue that ever comes up, he loses it. And that's what happens from isolation. So and this is a message to anyone, whether you're an over emotional being and you don't use enough logic, you're isolating yourself from your ability to think through those times and have the reason to navigate your heart space. And then for those individuals that also are always logical, and even if they're geniuses in a sense of the mind, but man, there will be something that can pull at that heartstring, and you'll realize you didn't have that much foundation that you thought you did. You know what I mean? And thus you are a slave to something. And you do not want to be that. The best path would be to, you know what I mean? Honestly, feel all the emotions and be able to be at a place where you can objectively look at yourself outside of the emotions. You know what I mean? But be willing to feel the emotion. Be willing to be embarrassed. Be willing to be wrong. Be willing to just feel and look at it. Because honestly, I'm at a place in my life where, bro, I'm pissed off. And I'm sad. And I'm happy. And I'm joyous. And I'm elated. And I'm excited. And I'm sorrowsome. And I feel like crying. And all the time. At once.
Yeah.
And I know how to feel appropriately. The higher dimensions that people don't even connect to the emotional realm or the emotional realms. Each dimension has a gigantic emotional pool. And something that one of our millionaire people that we watch, can't say his name, he's a bit but yeah, he was like, listen, right emotion isn't about being fucking numb all the time. It's about knowing how to feel the right emotion in the right time. If you are getting jumped by 10 people and you're raging and you're in it and you're in a brawl and you're going off, that's appropriate then because you need to survive. But if you're talking with someone and they got your coffee wrong, it's just you and two other people in the room, and and it's like, yo, that's not the right time to feel that emotion. There is a time and a place for each emotion, but being wise with your emotions is about knowing when and where, time and place to feel the right emotion at the right time. And that's where you are, you have wisdom for real, and you're just not, tweaking.
I like to call that navigating your emotions.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's all it is. You navigate them. And look, we're heavy in the energy works of everything, right? And the emotional fields, as you were talking about, that is 100,000% a form of energy, right? So this, what a lot of people have to understand is like, it's the same thing with everything else. You got your highs and your lows. And if you try to stay neutral with all of it, your contrast is going to be very, very off, right? And if you just feel happy all the time, then that happiness is going to be missing the contrast of the others. So you're doing yourself an injustice, right? But when we talk about ascension and the rising and all these things, I honestly think like a lot of people forget about that at an emotional level as well, right? So us being musicians and alchemists, all that stuff, we understand what harmonizing is and chords and all those things, right? So if y'all could just like imagine for a second that these different emotions we're talking about are like different sounds, right? Well, the same way when you turn the volume up, it gets louder and more impactful and all those things. So if you keep your like emotions way down here, they're harmonizing way down here. But if you can feel through all of them at a high space without letting them, but feel them all, that harmonization allows you to have so much more impact with every single thing that you do. It's not about, like you said, not feeling the emotion. It's about fully feeling it, but understanding what it is and not letting it dictate you. You're navigating through it. And with that, you'll get into these deeper places very quickly.
Exactly.
Right. So yeah, man. Well said. Very well said. Very well said. You think we're gonna get into this polite thing because what you had said earlier about the Jesus freak. excuse me. Some of my. I think that was a beautiful segue for what he's talking about and how these words are so important.
Yeah. It one of those things where we can watch a few minutes of it, or are we just gonna jump in talking about it?
I mean, I can find it with the little part where he starts breaking that the one word part down real quick. You know what I'm saying? What we do is we've been on for an hour and 11 minutes and 11 seconds right at that point. So what I could do is throw on the dark side of the moon again because it is May the 4th day. Okay. And while that's going on, I can get the other part queued up, and then we can get the little snippet where he goes into the meaning of the word and all that. Yeah. And I think that's a great highlight, and then break it from there.
Yep. Okay. Let's do it.
So good. That's good. All right. That's good. And yo, keys of the kingdom. They don't even understand. Key.
Yeah. We're dropping endless jewels here. Endless jewels. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. So here. I got you. So this is Dark Side of the Moon on May the 4th Star Wars Day. All right. All right, y'all get ready. And look, I'll have the lyric video. I will have it. But this one was just, the effects and whatnot.
Also, before you play it, they're about to do a remaster and theater.
They did for 3.
Yeah, for theatrical release for Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. So this song is a direct representation of the Force, the Great Jedi, and Anakin Skywalker, and the emotions therein. So yes.
Okay, let's make it happen.
Side of the moon, I have to find the light without the lights. Interlude, I'm on the dark side of the moon. If you reject one side of me, you'll lead Jedi to doom. I'm on the dark side of the moon. The darkness teaches me how bold I can be to the truth. I'm on the dark side of the moon. You do not understand, the prophecy was fully proved.
I'm balanced, of course, ayy. You must know you cannot ignore, ayy. The radiant truthfulness of my roar, and without a little key, you can open any door. Believe that, I be that strength when you need that grip on the fence, and you got to achieve that. Whether it's for light or the dark, yo, I gotta get sparked to embark. I'm beyond how you see this. I'm more than just a thesis to even call on me. You gotta be speechless. I don't have no name, no emotion, because I'm energy in motion. Yo, I'm bigger than the whole damn ocean, potent, even when you're not in focus. Notice me everywhere if you're chosen. Living non-stop, nor block, cause I made up your devotion.
Dark side of the moon, I have to find the light without the lights. Interlude, I'm on the dark side of the moon. If you reject one side of me, you'll lead Jedi to doom. I'm on the dark side of the moon. The darkness teaches me how bold I can be to the truth. I'm on the dark side of the moon. You do not understand, the prophecy was fully proved. Dark, the dark side of the moon. Bogan's what I bang right now, but be Ashley
I be the great Jedi. Balance is my key. I walk a straight line through both infinities. Now, in hindsight, I'm a clear spark made to teach. Though the gray's an illusion of the light and the dark that you can see. When the force is a oneness, the course is abundant. You were made of more than a portion that you have summoned. You are ignoring the sum that was forced to be from being nothing. It's important that you see the course of force is developing, because if you go against it, then the force will embellish you. Sit there separate and the Jedi are desperate, and both y'all run a reckless one to sign a death wish from a star kiss, cause that's what I harness. Ever see my blade, then you see nothing brighter. My dark is blacker than yours is for a reason. My light is even wider than the whole winter season. Get it from your knees or you will feel a seizure from the lightning blasting out of my fingers. But bring your sick, bring your poor or you're broken. I heal him with the energies that I am invoking.
dark side of the moon. I have to find the light without the lights. Interlude, I'm on the dark side of the moon. If you reject one side of me, you'll lead your eye to doom. I'm on the dark side of the moon. The darkness teaches me how bold I can be to the truth. I'm on the dark side of the moon. You do not understand, the prophecy was fully proved. Dark, the dark, the dark,
Yeah.
dark side of the moon. Bogan's what I bang right now, but I'll be acting soon.
First off, fuck y'all, I was born a slave. Tucked off, left my mom in struggling pain. Fear was an ocean I couldn't hold at bay. So hell nah, I wasn't gonna lose Padme. What the hell you mean? It haunts me in my dreams. Was I ever taught about my destiny? Never got a hug, forced to never love. Grew up in a war, never knew who I was. Trial and error, so what if you wanna judge? Cause in war I hold a hammer and forgot what peace was. Was taught to let it go instead of knowing what it was. Unprepared for my journey, now I don't give a fuck. I'm sorry about the children, they were breeding. I can't take it back, out of control, my heart's bleeding. Emotionally confused by the things they would teach me. I really just need someone to please come free me.
Bro,
That thing cold, man.
nasty work.
Hey, you remember Mom.
Yeah, yo. Yo, that was so bad. It was great though. Mom. No. Oh man, it's one of them insiders of the insiders.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, yo.
That's crazy.
Yo, we got a couple songs that we just have these like little inside jokes that when we perform, it's hard not to mess each other up because we can't. But it's good. He said, "Mom, oh."
Look, I'm glad y'all talked me out of it because I almost.
Yo, it would have been terrible. It's like the people that their friends go to Walmart like that. Like I couldn't do that to you.
Yeah,
man.
no,
I
thank
couldn't
you.
do it. Hey, you know what's funny though? I ain't gonna lie to you. Surprise! I sent that to Mark Hamill today.
The song?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
I said thank you for your beautiful work and inspired all this. Appreciate you.
Yo, that's yeah.
Because why not?
Yeah.
He might not ever see it, yeah, but if he does, you
Of
know,
course. One day he might randomly just click on it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yes. Heck yeah.
Hold on, we use the force. Hold on. Yeah. A couple days. He got it. Yeah. This is the song you're looking for.
I say.
All right. So I got Brother Plight. It's pulled up. It's just a little bit before he gets into it to kind of set the stage correctly.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. I mean, even if you want to give a little bit more, he was going off right there. So
it really was. Hold on, let's get back just a little bit more.
Is it in the first video that we had already watched when we watched it together, or the second?
Yeah. It's like 32 seconds in. He's just based on the climate alone, where other dudes talking, like giving an intro, like just before, when he got that look on, like, are you gonna get to the point, bro?
Right.
Okay, cool. All right, so this is Brother Play. This is about, what was it, like 8 years ago or something? It's an older flick, but it's good. Like keys. All right. So, and this is what we were talking about earlier, the importance of understanding what a word actually means instead of what you just want it to be. Right. It's very, very important, because when you actually start getting this, the truth, guys, when you get into the truth, your life will change. But you can't be like adapted and attached to the version of what you want it to be. All right. So watch this breakdown. Thank you for showing us. Man,
Of course. Also, a study to show ourselves approved. So we can be very intuitive and be very, very knowledgeable of things that we think that we know and be right. But until you walk that path back to yourself as well and be intuitive and, you don't fully know. You know what I mean? You kind of need to have been around the block so that you have reference points to know what resonates with you and what doesn't.
Yeah. Matter of fact, hold on. because you said I got to drop this other piece real quick because you it's a thing you know, in some things we just know without hearing it. But you said this, I think, when you showed me this video. The only way that you can really know is if you're right or not is if you try to prove yourself wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And we both know what those trenches look and feel like, and we've gone that in every different direction possible to get to the centerpiece of what is, right? And so that's another very big part. So thank you for that, because hearing it was like, well, of course this is what we do, man. But very, very well articulated. To be a scholar is to prove yourself wrong, like to get to the truth. So all right. So thank you for that. Thank you for that, man. All right, check this out. Brother Polite, why Jesus couldn't be white or Mary a virgin?
Let's go. Mind you, this is straight out their own doctrine.
It's a white guy. Long, straight hair, even though it says hair of wool in the Bible and so forth.
And you're going to have black people say it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what race he is. But everybody else is going to have a deity made in and after their image and likeness, except for us.
Yeah.
And then the worst part is, after we adopt the new color, is the narrative accurate? And do we even care to peruse through the narrative? You feel me? Like if I go to Matthew chapter 1, verse 23, and I see the word virgin there, and they talking about Emmanuel or Jesus being born, and then I see the word virgin there, and then I go into a Greek concordance and I look up the word virgin, and then I see in the Greek that the word that they're using for virgin just means an unmarried woman. Then the Virgin Mary isn't necessarily,
it changes the
represents a immaculate conception.
Yeah.
It means a woman
who's
not married, who had this child. But I will get cursed at and I'll be disrespected. But I will also say, it's not me. In any one of the Bibles you choose to read, if you get one that has a corresponding concordance, you can look up the concordance number and you can see what the words actually translate to be. And thus, no matter what, if they say, not in my Bible, that's okay. But in everyone's concordance, it's going to have the same definitions. So it doesn't matter if your Bible or my Bible is different. Let's look up the concordance number from which these English words derive so we can come to our own definitive conclusion as to what this means and represents. And then when we look up the word, the virgin just simply means the unmarried woman. What are we going to do with that? Are we going to accept it now that there was no immaculate conception as far as that doctrine is concerned? And then we got to ask, so then where did we get the idea from in the first place? African archetypes of conception. Now we're going to have to go back to Egypt. Now we're going to have to go back to even some of the Sumerian doctrine. We have to go back because this is where these people's information was grafted out of. And then they haven't been given credit for what they gave the world. You feel what I'm saying? And the people that took it didn't stay long enough to understand it.
Bro, that we can keep going, but that,
yes,
all by itself,
yes, one.
No, I'm saying all by itself, just that one statement at the end.
Yes,
everything else we're going to break down, but just not staying long enough to understand it.
Right.
That I would offer real quick, just to retouch when we were talking about with that going into the basement, the emotions, all that. If you don't stay long enough to understand it.
Right. Right.
So, bro, when he's talking about this, and like it doesn't matter what your translation says.
Right.
Let's get to the root of the word.
Right.
That's how you get to the truth.
Because the base of all these religions, whether we want to go with the Torah, the Talmud, we want to go with which is the Old Testament, we want to go with the New Testament, which came in like 1604, very late in the game. We want to go with the Quran. We want to go with any of these things. A lot of these people don't read the original language that these books were written in.
Right.
And think that that'd be important. You know what I mean? If there's power in thy name,
then what is your name?
And we're not saying name.
Right.
What are we doing?
Right. Yo, listen. So look, we've been in, wait, I just have to say, because you said that, man. Like, I was a youth pastor, all right, for like 2.5 years. Okay. And when I got to the truth of the truths, right? And I'm like, but for who you're talking about, for one, is already from this other story from X amount of years ago, right? But the name is Yeshua. And they would go, it doesn't matter what his name is. I'm like, if it doesn't matter, then why don't you say Yeshua?
Right.
Like, it would drive me so crazy because that's what I'm saying, to be so attached and dedicated to a lie that you know is a lie.
Right.
And look what that, I mean, look at the country right now.
Right.
So obviously this is not, you know.
And they don't know it's a lie because they're refusing to look, because the sheer concept of
and consequence of
accept
if it's
that
wrong.
as that
Oof.
would destroy their whole house made of cards, you know?
Of course.
So it's like, you know, Yeshua in the Bible states that he has skin as if brass was thrown in a furnace. That's pretty burnt to me. Okay.
I mean, for the people that have seen it.
Hair kinky like wool. Okay. And then what they want to go and say, oh, well, his image doesn't matter. But once again, if it doesn't matter, why are you changing the image? You know what I mean? Right. I've been kicked out of churches, okay? Because I'm just like, yo, I don't understand. I'm reading what you're saying, and this doesn't make any sense.
And you can't get mad at me for just asking questions.
You can't. You know what I mean? And then when we really go into the depth of it, they're really wanting to repurpose this whole thing. And then, if anything, when they want to move the goalposts and say, well, he might not have been white, but he wasn't black, because once you look at the people that are living there now, that they were olive colored, and they were like this blended Israeli thing.
Right. No, look, hold on that real quick though. But look at America today.
Right.
So if we go back X amount of years ago, America did not look like this.
No.
So how can you base on anything of what's happening right now compared to back then? Because it's only so much time before they go and change them books too.
And this is the problem. The mind state of us as a society, we only can view so far in the future and so far in the past as a unified mind. So just as we were learning, the word vegetable wasn't even added into the English diction until like the 1700s. Yeah. There was just different kinds of fruit. But now we live in a time where it's an aspect and pillar vocabulary word that we utilize, that people don't understand the history in which how certain things became. It's this analogy that I always say: if you're a child and you grow up in this room, your bed is in the corner, the window's over to the side, you have a mirror on the other corner, and you have a lamp right there, and your closet is across the room.
Okay.
When you're growing, and it's your first room, you're not questioning how the things got there that are there, and what they are, and when they got there, and why they're there. There has just always been a lamp in the corner, and that is what you know. You know not of the mind state of the parents who walked into an empty room, saw the different corners that a lamp could be, and put the lamp there. It is a part of you. That is just what you know. You know what I mean? I've been around individuals that were OGs from like Sudan, came out to where I grew up, and was driving by the gas station, was like, oh, that parking lot right there, I turn that into this. They're driving by the movie theater that's abandoned, I would take that, I turn it into this. And they're able to see things that they would do to this city that I lived in, that I never had questioned.
That's why, yeah,
that it could even look something different when I'm only 14, 15. It is just was always that I always knew. So in that same way, these people, they don't want to question, and they're actually taught not to question. And this is why we have a theoretical issue, because as scholars, we come to the truth through skepticism. We're not just giving it and just believing it. You know what I mean? And then to think that it is evil or demonic to question it, that makes it this crazy cult thing. And like, you know, and then when you guys become abrasive, based on us asking just simple questions, that's a problem. You know what I mean? And then one last piece.
Oh, go ahead.
As you were saying on what used to be in America and our time frame in which how we only view in our room what we know of. So, hey, you know, America is ruled by, you know, I mean, when you think of judicial, legislation, and executive branches, what race of people do you think of?
I was on Brother Polite's hat.
right. When you think of in America, the legislation, judicial, and executive branches of America, you're not thinking about Mexican people.
No.
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 Okay. All right. Now, this is just what we view in this world right now. But you go back far enough, all this get a lot darker. You know what I mean? What people don't know is that the Palestinians were all darker people once ago. During the time, and this is all public information, running from Hitler in the early 1900s, them people left and ran away from Germany. And where did they flee to? To Palestine. Okay? That did not look like that in 1890. Okay? But nobody even do the research. So they're just like, they're literally speaking facts, like, because of the people that look olive now, and they're like, if they weren't African, Jesus
Bro,
was.
it's because it's devastating to the argument.
It is. It is.
Okay, look, like what Brother Ply was just talking about, right? If we go into the concordance and look at the word virgin, just means unmarried word. I'm gonna say it. It means that Jesus was just a bastard.
Right.
Me too. It's okay. It's not meant. That's what the meaning of the word is. I ain't talking about some evil, but that's the definition of the word, and it can be okay, right? But again, if everyone suddenly in the Jesus world knew that and took that,
right,
what would that even do? Does now sudden he lose his superpowers because it's not immaculate? Right? Does he lose the superpowers because it's not immaculate inception?
Right.
Does that go away now?
Oh,
or do we still keep it and just leave that part off?
Oh no, it definitely does tear the whole thing up, because the whole basis of what they're saying is that this boy is God,
right?
You know what I mean? And literally is came and did the whole thing, and it throws the whole
now here's what's spooky about it though, because again, I was in the church, man. Mm-hmm. Okay, and look, the whole time I went through the Berean, all that. Okay. At no point did I get to the point, at least for my pastors, where they were bringing me a concordance and be like, look at this and look at this and look at this. So right. I didn't even really know about that, even though I was in the church to do it. Once I was on my way out and started doing the research and started asking them questions, they literally told me they knew. Right. So that's the crazy thing. Some people don't know.
Right.
But some people do know and still keep moving and pushing it anyways, even knowing that. That's what's spooky.
And that's why I say the real enemy of knowledge is not ignorance, it is false knowledge.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
People who will know and lead people astray into what is wrong. Even the dude that I talked about earlier, as we started debauching and about his history, apparently he was on drugs and wilding in his younger years. But he got off of drugs from Jesus or whatever, right? And I was like, oh, well, okay, that's interesting. But as time goes on, I'm explaining how my life was. And I was explaining, doing shrooms or doing psychedelics and expanding my horizons of consciousness. And he felt he wanted to be like, oh, no, like me, I just, I get my power to do what's right or what this from Jesus, because he died for our sins. And I was like, oh, well, hold on. All I'm stating is that I ascend to reach higher planes of consciousness of my awareness. When it comes to being disciplined to be like a good person, I'm just am. I don't need I have my own connection. So, but I'm a monk. So I'm not, deriving my power through Jesus like that. But I wouldn't call it that, but I get my power just through will and my intent and my path and what has already been correlated for me through the universe around me. God, as you would say, but I wouldn't call it like that. But we're talking about like you don't have to throw that on me.
Yeah.
Because I'm stating that I do shrooms or whatever. Because never in my life was I doing like what you were doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh,
like
man.
you was doing some wild stuff in your younger years. And if we really want to go there with it, the Most High had my back.
Yeah.
So I never even went down there like that.
Right.
Like
right.
I don't know what you
need to.
No.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You became the thing. You know what I'm saying? Again, I think it'll be a daytime episode to go down that thing. But we talked about this a little bit a few days back. Like, so many people are so set in their practice, they forget to actually become the thing. Right? Like when you're at any sport, you got practice, but when you step on the field, you're a player. And you have to be that. But people get so caught up in the practice that they never become, like you said, I'm not trying to do it. I'm a monk. I've become the thing. And when you become that, there's no more practice anymore.
No.
You know what I mean? People talk about, I got to do my gratitude practice. Why aren't you just there all the 24/7 and just be gratitude? Why do you have to, like, you know what I'm saying? And hey, I'm not taking away from, we all have our path, but this is a thing a lot of people skip. Like, instead of just, I do my 5-minute gratitude thing in the morning. That's a beautiful thing, right? Go ahead, do that. But don't use the word morning, say rising, and then stop saying it and just start doing it all the time.
Because
right?
There's levels. You know what I mean? This same individual, he might respect some old dude in his church that can spout out any Bible verse, asleep well, any Bible verse straight off his mind, off the top or whatever. But he might not be that great of a person as an individual. Even the guy that I'm talking, he was like, wow, I will say though, your due diligence and willing to just be right then and help, I can be better at. And I didn't add that part earlier, but he did say that. And that's where I kind of knew, like, yeah, my purity was kind of irritating you a little bit or something. And you almost wanted to unleash this argument because I was just speaking candidly. I don't understand, but in the same speaking, even him, he got gripes about himself, which no problem, but respect the levels. Okay. You know what I mean? Once you're seeing how someone conducts and carries himself every day in their life and you're seeing them do it live, respect that, what I mean? Especially when you know that they're directly imploring and doing something that you yourself have a problem doing. And it's not a big me, big little you, or anything like that. Even if it's somebody bigger than me or better than me at something, it's just simply levels. I'm not looking at a fish to try to figure out, ask it how to climb a tree. It's like, no, there's certain things that certain people have better than me, and there's certain things I have better than them. And we have to respect that. But how well of a student can you be to adhere to new information?
And that right there, that part, that's what it is. And look, and that's what I'm saying. So again, can't get mad at me for asking questions. Okay. But what is the definition of intelligence? Okay. If you guys don't know the definition of intelligence, exactly what you said. How can you change your current thinking based on the new information that you're given? Okay. Now, that doesn't mean it has to be drastic, but if you have new information, something new is in the equation. The math is different, right? Now, that's the definition of intelligence. Okay. So this way, you came back for asking questions. What word is opposite of intelligence?
Stupid as hell.
Stupid as hell. Ignorant, dumb. There's a list of them. It's so much opposite. There's a list of them. All right. So what that means, I'm not saying this to attack anyone, but again, the truth of the words. If you don't have the ability to adapt to new information, you a dumb motherfucker. You just are. By the definition of the word. This is not to be mean. Understand what I'm saying. Understand what the definitions mean. So if you hear them like, I don't like it, that's a trigger. This is an opportunity. This is a thing to be like, well, how do I get better at it? You just understand and admit we're in these human bodies. They come with flawed versions of all sorts of things that we have to try to correct on our course.
Right.
So to have humility and to allow yourself to have grace,
right,
right? That's a really big key thing for this whole year. That's kind of been my grace has been my mantra of understanding of just, oh, well, give them some grace, give yourself some grace. So in that humility, you can come to that responsibility of accepting the truth. And from there, you can do anything you want with it, but you can't while you just hiding behind lies. You
Well
can't.
said. Well said. Well said. Because I want everyone that either agrees with us or doesn't agree with us on our sentiment of the Bible, right? To just think, what if you were wrong? What if? What if there might be something into what we're thinking because everything that you're thinking comes from the Bible and you don't want to look outside of it? And my question to you is the responsibility we walk with is I'll try to prove myself wrong and then try to prove myself right. Why are you afraid to dig into that? Why don't you look up the concordance? Why don't you look up the etymology of some of these words? Why don't you become a history buff outside of what the Bible says? Not talking about going into Mesopotamia and Sumer. Look into the true history of how these religions came into power. And look at that genuinely and try to see where we're coming from genuinely, if you are as open-minded as you claim to be. Because if you don't, then you're not. And you're inadvertently in a very deep cognitive dissonance where you're running from the plausibility that what you're saying, what you believe in, is flawed. You know what I mean? And there's things in your skeletons in your closet that you'd rather just try to avoid all in all. But why do that? If you're really a truth seeker, seek the truth. Even if you end up right, try to prove it wrong as best as you can. Genuinely, unbiased.
I love it. I love it. I love it. There's exactly what you said. Because look, it's not even just for themselves. This said, imagine for a moment that you're not sure if this is true or not, right? But you still out there every Sunday bringing more people in, right? Now, if you're wrong and you're giving them to like a Dumamu type motherfucker for real, then how are you not like? Do you not understand the responsibility that these so quote unquote Christians have for literal souls? And just on the chance of I don't like it was funny, you like, why can't they go outside the Bible? They can't even go inside the Bible either. That's why they don't have the concordance.
Right.
They need to be right in the little spot that's right where everything is okay, right? But if you think about this for a second, and it's like an old Eskimo proverb. I was trying to pull it up, but it essentially goes like in the Bible, it says that like a child that dies without knowing the love of Christ or something gets like a hall pass and gets to go straight. Right? Like you cannot be condemned for something you're ignorant to. Right? So there's this old Eskimo proverb, and he says, if that's really true and you want us all to go to heaven, then why did you even come tell us? Because if you didn't tell us, we wouldn't have known, and we'd all die and go to heaven anyways out of our own ignorance. So are you really trying to build the kingdom in heaven, or are you trying to build the kingdom of heaven here by collecting us all together? You guys can leave now.
Right.
So it's not just one thing to lie to yourself or to be not 100,000% sure because you've gone both sides of the tracks, both northwest side, every direction possible, and get back to your spot. You have that responsibility if you're really like leading and directing people and souls. So if you're lying to yourself, you're lying to how could that even possibly be a thing? And I think that's why old boy had to puff his chest up around you, because there's not a script or anything that we have to follow. We are just that thing. And the truth is a type of light, and it will make every shadow illuminated. So just standing next to these people, their shadow is like, ha, you're not what you thought you were, because a light doesn't give a shadow. Right. We can cast a light onto a light, onto a light, onto a light. You ain't getting a shadow from a light.
It's consistent.
So that's what I'm saying. So it's a matter of just knowing that they do know, but they don't want the responsibility of the truth.
Oh.
That's what a lot of comes down to. It's not just in that area. That's a lot.
And that's considering the smartest of them.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course. Look. I'm sorry. I gotta, just because I thought it was funny, and I thought it would be appreciate this. Earlier, I said something to Nadia. I can't remember what I said, and she was like, "Oh, you think you're pretty clever, huh?" Or you? I was like, I feel clever. I don't get this feeling that often, right? And she's like, "What do you like?" I'm like, listen. Most of the time when we're talking, they're not like that intelligent enough to make me feel like me getting over on them or saying something makes me feel clever. They just didn't even know enough.
Right.
Like that's not. But this idea, I think it's a really good idea, and I don't have to worry about no one else's anything. So in this, I actually get to feel that way, right? And that's what's crazy, man. Like we're not trying to dunk on kindergartners, but a lot of y'all kindergartners are trying to come out here and play ball with us, and I don't understand why.
Right.
Let's take camp, get you some warm-ups, get you some drills, you know what I'm saying? And then in a few years, after you've done the work like we have, then come see us on the court.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
because if you really know what you know, then let's go into you know, and that's where many of them definitely act as if, you know what I mean, they're about that life, you know what I mean? But it comes down to also like that ignorance is bliss, you know what I mean? And once they're confronted with it, you'd think that the sheer concept of a difference or a higher light that they're able to see live in front of them, or even a difference in opinion, would make them pull at a thread. But instead, it highlights. That's where you're saying that they know,
right?
Because there's a thread that they don't want to keep pulling at, and it's like, why?
Right.
You know, because it's
like, they know what's gonna happen.
But but at the same time, you don't want to learn Hebrew.
Right.
So you don't want to learn it.
So you know enough. And again, that's what I'm saying. That's the whole thing. Look at the word again. As long as you know just enough, I guess I can get through this thing. But I don't want to take the time to know everything because now I'm responsible for the things that I know.
Right, bro. I've been in a debate with some Jesus freaks, bro, where they told me that God, like when I told them that like I'm expanding my horizon, I woke my mind up and I was chosen and I'm blah blah blah, and they were like, no, you see, that's demonic. God took that part of my mind away, and to try to rise my awareness, that's the devil. Scouts honor. Scouts.
I believe you. I believe you.
Like, and they're like genuinely like, no, if they're what am I supposed to expand my mind? That was closed off from me for a reason. God did that for a reason. I'm not supposed to know. And to try to expand my mind, that's the devil. I said, damn.
Wow. That's wow.
Did you not?
But that's the zealotry of it all.
Yes.
You know what I mean? There's no rhyme, there's no reason. It's the mindless soldier.
Right.
So and they know it though. They just can't admit it. Right? Like I would love it, like, and we've talked about this many times. I would love just be honest and tell me. I know it's all bullshit. I don't care. It's what I want to do. That is way better than trying to tell me that you really accept and believe this when you know that you don't.
But look, is that not the same thing as those vampires trying to ask to get in?
Right, that's what. Yes.
But look. We should be happy with each other, and just like, cool, why don't you just let me in?
Yeah.
And it's like, but so hold on. Are you cool? Yeah, I'm cool. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
It's like, no, but you're really not though, and you know you're not.
You know you're not. Right? How'd you get up here?
You know, literally. And even if to some degree they've lied to themselves, because like for instance, my little brother is somebody that's not like me and you, that crawled out of hell into the light for knowledge that he weren't just given. I spoon fed him knowledge. So he got it and he ended up rejecting it in a sense. But the thing is off the sheer shine of not rejecting it at the beginning, but over time of just having it, he ended up not wanting it. But the thing is he lives his life right now in this crazy cognitive dissonance where he tries to damage himself or add pain to his life or do these derogatory things to himself. But the thing is he does that because to even consider that the world is really what it is would bring way more responsibility to him that he doesn't want.
Right.
And he's not consciously aware. Subconsciously, oh, he knows. But consciously, oh no, I'm in pain. I'm in pain. And I can't even blah, blah, blah. But if you were to even for a second acknowledge that I was right, the responsibility of what it would mean that it would be on his shoulders from his birthright would give too much to him. So he's almost like choosing to be lost, but he's genuinely lost. But at this, it's a weird symbiotic thing where they are not knowing, but they are knowing. Oh yeah,
right. They know that they don't know,
right,
and they want to keep it that way.
That part,
because then there's no responsibility.
That part.
If I don't know, right? Responsibility, accountability is everything,
right?
Like, bro, and we talk like Amante, right? And I love it. How's your brother?
22, 23.
Okay. He's still young, but he should be grown and beyond that. And I say this because Monte's 17, right? He's going on 38, whatever, but he still has his young heart, young mind, all these things, right? So, and we build all day, right. You know what I mean? In a multitude of dimensions. This is what we do. So when I'm talking to him about driving or these different things, again, honesty, right? What's your why? I'm gonna be graduating in a few months, so we had this talk earlier in the year. I'm gonna be graduating in a few months, and then I'm really gonna be an adult for real. Like I'm gonna be an adult, and I know that. And so right now, I'm just enjoying still being a kid. So when this time comes, I will step up and do these things. But right now, I don't want to do it.
All right.
Okay, but this is also coming from respectfully, he's still a child.
Right.
So that connotation, that idea, that mindset is that of a child. So for anyone that will know, hey, I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm gonna put it off, you are a toddler.
Yeah.
You are a child in a man's body.
Yeah, because listen, even with my little brother at 20, whatever, you're a kid, I was smoking him at 16.
Right.
And 14. Right. What are you talking about?
Right. Because I'm saying age is relative, but I'm saying for him, he's still in that.
Of course.
Yeah. But for us, we chose to grow up now. Right. And when you grow up, you take on every responsibility available.
Because it's like imagine whenever you see a person that's ever talking about they're gonna stop smoking cigarettes and they've still got 10 cigarettes, most times, and I'm not gonna say it's all the time, but a good 7 out of 10 to 8 out of 10, those people are not gonna stop when they're like, oh no, I got a few left. It's the people that's like, I'm done.
Right.
Right now.
Right.
But when they're like, I got one more pack, and then once this is gone, I'm done. No, you're not.
Right. No, and look, and that's so true. Look, accountability, bro. What the green magic. Remember that I told you? I was like, no, I just woke up, I threw everything away.
Right.
I was like, today's the day. That's it.
True. So
right. Mm-hmm. But I'm saying that last, I'm taking a break. I don't think I've been done for forever, blah blah. Right. And then eventually, a few months later, I did it again, and I was talking to Jeanette. I'm gonna quit. And exactly as you're saying it right now, I had like 3 or 4 packs of wraps left, but the green man, I was like, well, I still got to get rid of those though.
Yeah.
And then went got some more, but now there was more of that. I got to finish these wraps.
Yeah.
And it became, and if I'm like, yo, listen, I don't care if the wraps are right there or not. Nah. And then it became real, but I had to put a paper over it so I couldn't even see it anymore.
And that's where Amante being like, oh, for a little, and right. Respectfully to him,
right? Of course.
Very good alibi. Because look, come up with something, something. Shoes, right. Moon, whatever. Right. But it's cap.
Yeah. Well, again, I'm giving it the benefit because when the bills do, the bills do.
No, yeah. No, I get you. It's just that there's an element that forced us off the porch.
Mm-mm.
We didn't. There wasn't a let me. I didn't even think a. It was like I need this now, and
Yeah.
he doesn't have that. You know what I'm saying? So it's an understandable essence of childness, but that's really what you're saying is really what that is. Because if there was that importance, or rather, yeah, if there was that importance to stop smoking or to stop this, then you would. But there isn't, and it's not really even that problematic. And then honestly, even with him, it's not like, his life is finna end or nothing. He's gonna be fine. But when you come to individuals that are giving that kind of analogy and saying, hey, I know I'm fucking up, but I'm gonna fuck up a little bit more because I know once I'm really done, I'm done for real.
Right.
And I'm never gonna fuck up again for the rest of my life. Chill. Chill. Okay, listen, you should try to just do your best right damn now. Okay.
Yeah.
And then and even when you become said adult, you're gonna fuck up then. So
100%. You have that's part of
yeah,
it.
yeah, there is no this date hits. What you're doing is you're trying to just save yourself from the anguish, and it's kind of an excuse, Loki, but it's okay.
Yo, it is okay. It's all okay if you're honest.
Yeah.
That's we talked about this a bajillion. We'll continue. You know what I mean? But that's in the I don't care what it is, guys. I don't care. Just be honest with me, and we can talk about anything. It's not a big deal,
Right.
Because again, we come in these flawed avatars. We come in a flawed version of the world.
Right.
So we have to understand that that's going to be part of the growing process. It's part of the grace. It's all of it, right? But it has to come from truth.
Right.
But you can never have that until you have it with yourself.
Bro, adolescence is a forest of illusions.
Oh man. And then and it's illusions that are created by other people living in their own illusions that pass them on.
There's friends you think is your partners. There is people you think care about you. There is shit you think you are and you're into that you're not. And you trying to placate, you trying to show this falsity to these people that don't even care about you.
They really don't.
You know what I mean? And like, it is a force of illusions. If you're able to survive through that, you know what I mean, and then make it through, it is a miracle. You dig what I mean? And they're lucky to be able to have individuals like us around them now that can tell them X, Y, Z. Because let me tell you, we did not have them. You know what I mean? There was super cool OG pulling up like, yo, look, I've been there. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there wasn't not like that. In fact, some of the people around us, they were trying to figure it out themselves and or leading us astray.
Yeah, and purposely from seeing the potential. And that's the other big part as well.
For real though.
Because you ain't gonna be for our man and get farther than me.
For real.
Even if you deserve to.
For real, bro. A little side note. When I was learning how to box, right? My old big homie, Virgil, who's a tyrant, okay?
Oh, yeah.
But I gravitated to him because he was so tough. But this man had choked me out before, whole bunch of stuff. But I didn't have knowledge of self or self-worth to be like, fuck you, I still chilled around this man after he choked me out. Like, what's wrong with me? You know what I'm saying? So, but one day while we're training, his number 2 right under him, that his name was Jason. When I first got around him, I was like his mini me. But as I evolved and got away from him, we became more here. He was still my big homie, but he would have me do things he couldn't do. But then because of my separation from being right under his wing, he found another person to put under his wing. And I just saw and I watched it. You know what I mean? I was like, wow, this cat, I know exactly what you're going through. I was there when I was 15. You know what I mean? But this cat, older than me right now, under his wing, because he was way older than both of us. And I was like, wow, this guy. Anyways, when we were trained, boxing is a very awkward stance, okay? And if you don't do it all the time, you'll literally lose its sensation because I come from a martial arts world. So I have kicks, I have a whole nother stance, it's wider, a whole bunch of stuff. But when you're like this and you don't know what you're doing, it's like all these things to remember. And I was just like, I don't know if you ever see Me, Myself, and Irene or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like
He said it's like for real.
yeah, no, for real.
Yeah. He said
It really was, you know. So while I'm fighting,
he said
it was so messy because I'm trying to block, keep my feet right, keep my hands up, throw this, make sure this,
sure.
you know, it's all the
Sure. How's my feet?
Yeah, you know what I mean. Ball punches, thrown.
Yeah.
Now, I thought I did terrible. I thought I was always just terrible until I finally grasped, you know, goodness and beat a person or two and was like, damn. But it wasn't until years later. We're all grown. I'm with the dude that's number 2, and we were playing Ninja. It's a game where we're like, you try to touch each other's hands. And it's just a really fun game. We'll play it one day. But he tells me, he was like, I miss and I crack him. Bam. And he was like, wow. No, I didn't hit him in the face. He was like, wow, you your power is strong as ever, you know? And I was like, what do you mean by that? He was like, look, bro, back in the day when you were like 14, 15, you would hit us hard as fuck. And like Virgil is the man who practiced 10,000 punches once. But he has no power. No. Okay. But he will beat the fuck out of people, okay? People in the hood, they stopped pulling up fair. They'd pull up 10 people with sticks for him. And he'd walk away. He was nice like that. To even get his last name, you had to have 500 street fights. For real. And all of the Greens, they're a warrior class. They all have, you know, but my genes was different than theirs, but they respected me. And we were related in this warrior world, and I gravitated to them. But I say all this to say that he made fun of me. He told me I wasn't this, I wasn't that. And bro, I could have been on some like Gervonta Davis type stuff, because the whole time where I thought I was ass, when I did crack him, I hit him so hard.
Yeah.
And Jason was like, he told me to never tell you. Oh. He was like, don't ever tell him how strong he is. And I was like,
yep.
You could have made me.
Right.
So much.
Bro, they're dream crushers, bro. They out there.
So much time, bro.
So much, and time vampires. That's the worst.
You know,
in my opinion, that's the absolute worst. It's the only thing we can't get back. So to waste another person's time, even a minute of it, is the most disrespectful thing you can do. To take someone's whole future away. How dare you? You know what I'm saying? Like, look, mine ain't nothing crazy like that. But like, I used to draw like crazy, and like up until like 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, I was getting cold, right? And what's bro, and this is when I realized exactly what you was talking about. And watch how crazy this is. So you know, I'm a mixed family, right? So my mom's side's all white, and my favorite cousin, right, Aaron. I'm gonna say I don't even care, right? When growing up, this was him, right? We're in 4th grade arts class together, and we got like a Disney assignment, right? So you know me, man, I draw the genie,
right?
You know what I mean? It became okay.
Right.
I got an A+ on my thing. All right, now who do you think he drew? Now it's all a Disney though, but who do you think he drew?
Aladdin?
Jafar. And his was shit. He got a C-. And guess what though? He was my older cousin that I looked up to, right? His family had money. You know, my mom was with a you know, so that, you know, and my house was a black neighborhood, you know, the whole thing. So he's like, hey, but man, she's just being nice to you. That's crap. And he was my favorite cousin. So I believed him. I never drew again.
Yeah.
And then guess what? Years later, I found out the man got a swastika tattoo and realized it had absolutely nothing to do with my art.
Ain't that cold?
Bro, crazy.
Them
Crazy.
pivotal things
Bro,
that
yeah.
shifted you, and you were like, really? And then you looked at your own painting and believed it was shit because the big homie was like, bro, that's ass. That's really what she's doing.
Bro,
That's
yeah.
up, bro.
Bro, well, but yo, it was in that moment. But I tell you, in the realization of finding out about the tattoo and all that stuff, like in real, I got so much of myself back
Right. Of
in
course.
that realization because
Right.
I realized how much I had just thrown from not just him,
Right.
but so many other people as well.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I told you for years, like I was still holding records in Iowa for like the physical fitness test for like 52 sit-ups in a minute and all these crazy things, and they would not let me play on any like do anything with me. Just cause. You know what I'm saying? But if we played a team with a black guy, then I got to go play to stop him because nobody else could. It was crazy, bro. I'm telling you. Yes.
That's messed up. Like, what the heck, bro?
Yeah.
It's like it's one of those things where hold on, you'd say
And respectfully though, but Coach Goodrich always took care of me. All right, that was
yeah.
you know
Oh, boom,
what I mean?
that's what I was gonna say. Yes, that's where then it comes into, we become who we didn't have. So I'll come by some homies where we were in the Matrix, but even in the Matrix, they'll hit me up now or something and be like, "Yo, bro, you was always that guy."
Yeah,
Pull me to the side and you'd be like, "Hey, leave them alone. They don't even care about you." And I was like, always like, "Yo, hey, bro," but I'll never forget. You were really looking out for me the whole time, bro. Thank you. And like, cause how I got done. You know what I mean? I'm not finna do nobody. I'm looking out for real. You know what I mean? For real. So, after we get done a certain way, and we see the problem, you inadvertently become the solution because you've seen the problem. You know what I mean? So I dare not make somebody feel like how that made me feel. You know what I mean? No.
Yeah. But that's we talk about. That's just knowing what's at stake.
Yeah.
A lot of people just because they don't want to know, so they don't know what's at stake because they don't know.
Look. We got in an argument. Me and Virgil, we got in an argument because he was saying how Muhammad Ali would beat the shit out of Bruce Lee, and now mind you, Muhammad Ali is still Muhammad Ali, and Bruce Lee studied Muhammad Ali, but I was like, nah, Muhammad Ali, he's getting, he's gonna be beaten. Bruce Lee is beating the brakes off of him, and I must have only been like 16, bro. But I argued too well. Okay, this man was like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, bro. What are you saying? This is Bruce Lee, bro. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Don't you understand all the records this man have? What's his name? He's nice, and he probably could win some of the fights, but genuinely, no, bro. That's Bruce Lee, bro. I'm sitting on the couch. This man like gets up, walks around, comes around the couch, and just chokes me."
That's where he choked you?
Yes.
What?
This choked me out.
I would have been. Listen. When people attack me, I talk shit to them. It's one of my defenses, right?
I couldn't even, bro. He was like 24. I'm like,
I got you. But I'd be getting choked out, going, "Just say I'm Muhammad Ali."
Yeah.
This is a Bruce Lee move. Like
the baby boy Melvin, he said, "You know what I mean?" No, I'm just joking. But nah, you know what I mean? Yo, dude really just choked me out over that argument. I remember being like so baffled,
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
Insane.
yeah, I know, bro. But in my heart, though, as I got older, maybe by the time I was about 16, 17, because he went to state in wrestling, we wrestled once, right? And I just have a brute strength that he doesn't have. And he got me in an arm bar, right? And bro, I lifted. So he got me in this arm bar. He was like super state in wrestling. Mind you, he's like 20 fucking 4. I lifted this man up and took my arm out, and was like, boom. And I remember being like, I was like, yo, you beat my ass, but on the low, if I like needed to survive, I would crunch you. Like on the low, I would never, because I wasn't brave enough. But
Yeah,
when
right,
I
right.
felt his strength, I lifted his whole body and I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
like powerful for real.
yeah, yeah. No, no, no. Yeah,
That was like very eye opening to me. You know what I mean? It was like,
bro.
whoa.
That's what. Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but yeah. But yeah,
bro. So
like,
I'm saying
like
we fractals.
yeah,
This look, because I told you my boy Quick out here.
right.
You know what I'm saying? He was on his way to the Olympics for wrestling before he hurt himself. Right? He was a bad man. And then he jumped off of something and like broke his all these things like bad, right? Bad. But still would be talking to everyone and still was whooping people left and right.
Right.
Right. Well, eventually we got to where he finally convinced me to, yeah, man, I'll toss you. Okay, let's go. And I got him. And I was like, what happened? And he was like, no, boo, no. I was like, we'll never do that again. Because it's gonna happen that way again, I promise you.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, you just caught me the one time. But that's the thing though. It's one of those things when you think you know what you know, but you've never been in like imagine always only doing like wrestling or I mean whatever, always only in the ring.
Right.
The moment you get taken out of that,
Yes.
your entire thing is different now that you don't even realize how many different things are happening.
Yes, exactly. I mean, like for instance, dude had chicken legs, up top, but had chicken legs. I would be like, bro, if I kicked you, oh my God, you up the top, yeah, but if I kicked you hard enough, boy, you know what I mean? But it's one of those things where Bane, he said, oh wow, success has weakened you. Oh my God.
Yeah.
You merely adopted the dark. I was
Yeah.
born in it. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, you winning and stuff, you built me. You know what I mean? And then you trained me too. So, it would only be quaint. And I thought for a while it would happen, but we ended up just growing up and I ended up separating myself because he's just a bad person. You know what I mean? But on the low, that's right, bro. Over time of just being that guy, no one pushes you all the way there. And sometimes your hits don't hit like it did 5 years ago.
Right. Because you get comfortable.
Yes.
And that's why you have to always be in that we were talking about earlier of making sure you know you're right both ways.
I mean, shoot, I'm even going through this now where because of working and adulting, there's a whole bunch of I've not just done a backflip in like a year. You know what I mean? I was
just thinking about that too.
I used to do a backflip every like from every year, like at before the ball drop, at 11:59, 59 seconds before the end, and I would backflip into the next year. And I had a tradition of doing that for years. I would just, and then I would flip 50 times a day, and I just, you know what I mean? And it's like, dude, and then even, I notice certain things while I'm around people where I'm hopping around or I'm quick or I'm my, but I'm not training a tenth of what I used to, you know what I mean? And I don't want to be that guy where I'm like, damn, my shit not even, you know what I mean? Even when I boxed that dude, I hadn't trained in years, you know what I mean? And then dude was a boxer, like literally boxed, and then also was like 6'2" or some shit. So I ended up the homie Centavo.
I could have been taller.
The homie Centavo set me up to fight this tall guy as if we're in the same weight class. And I'm like, why did you give me him? When all of you guys got people in your weight class.
Wait, was this at that park?
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
I was there.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It was like
still was giving it to him.
Yeah, I was doing my thing.
Yeah.
But there was such a height difference. And then that's why there is weight classes. And if I had more reach, I'd have really beat him down, even more so. But he didn't really get me, but also didn't get him as well as I wanted. Because I was like so unpracticed, but just off the strength and the math of it, I was in there.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like had I had a month of practicing, I probably would have just smoked him regardless of the height. But it was like I really was just being impulsive. It was like, oh, this thing, I'm
Yeah,
down.
it's the warrior's heart.
Yeah, you know, it's cool.
You know what I mean?
Let's run it. You know what I mean? And then I didn't know until the day of what he even looked like.
I remember. I remember.
A dude, his own size. I was like, everybody fought. Why am I?
Everyone fought everyone but you. And I was like, he must be capable. That's what went through my head. And then when I saw, I was like, oh, he got it.
Yeah. Literally,
It was
but
good.
set me up. Since
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't want me to smoke someone my size
Of
and
course.
look better or something. You
Of
know
course.
what I'm saying?
Of
He
course.
wanted me to like, yo, look at him. You
Yo,
know?
you know what you just gave me? And I'm gonna write it down so man. I'll put it in my phone. Look, people, wow, crazy. People rise by making the runs around them fall.
Mm.
They don't just go up on their own. They would rather have the people around, and then I'm still standing up because I knocked you over,
Right.
not because I actually climbed up or got anywhere. I'm still in the exact same spot that I was, but I put you over there and I put you over incognito though. You didn't even know it was coming.
So by default, it looks a little better on me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And that could be the only reason that the people that we think that we know could ever go that route, because what else are you doing? There's no other reason for it.
Yeah. It's true, bro. And I'm opposite of that. I'm going around people that I know are nice. You know what I mean? Because I'm trying to be like around them because it's gonna make me nicer. You know what I mean? Like, I say this and then we can start. You know, maybe ending it or whatever. But
Yeah. We have the 215. I was gonna ask you what song should we close out with? We gonna Dark Side of Gamby 3 times.
Yeah.
Which is okay, but just something else.
What other songs do we got as options?
We have all of them pretty much except for Music to Ascend to. We got all the vibe. We got Passion of the Kings. We got the Veil. We got.
We might have to listen to Passion of the Kings, bro. That's a good song right there.
I think that'd be real good. I like that.
Yeah.
Go ahead, rap. I'll get that pulled up.
So basically, I just created the song Everyone. I'm making a Crystal album, and I just was creating the song for Malachite, and this dude told me what beat to choose, and as soon as he gave it to me, I literally wrote my verse, cleaned it up. It's a thing when you're a real writer, go through and line stuff up and whatnot. And then once I lined that up, which I did it very quick, and then I created this banger, you know what I mean? And it is literally, he still has not wrote me back and given me the song. So, and he's like probably like literally in the lab, and that's totally fine though. But my point was that once ago, I remember being able to create like something okay,
right?
If I did it quick, but if I wanted gold, it would take me like 3, 4, 5, 6 a week. I listened to maybe four bars, maybe, and then I knew I had this issue and I was going to try to get on rhythm and flow. And I was like, I can't have this issue. So I started chilling around Centavo and I got in the stew and there'd be like 20 dudes in the studio. I don't know them. And it's one of them energies where, you got to kind of reveal yourself around people you don't know. And it has to stand up. And it'd be like, hey, we're writing a song. You want to get on the song real quick? I didn't even know. And I got to write a banger in like 15 minutes. You know what I mean? Like I put myself in this gauntlet. And it got from where I can now make gold quick.
Yeah.
But once ago, to genuine gold though, like not.
Oh, I know. I've been hearing all the new stuff, man.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. You know what I mean?
And that's how it came. So it's just like Centavo's like, bro, come on, man, or not Centavo, but just anyone. It's like, don't try to do that by default. Actually, put yourself in positions where you might have a little bit of extra step that you're on the back step. You know what I mean? That's fine. You'll learn how to keep that weight over time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And put yourself in that position. And the first few times, it wasn't all that. But I have to be willing and be okay with myself and know that, give me a couple months. I'm about to light your asses up. And then now, it's like, don't don't even play with me. You know what I mean? Because, and that leads back to what we always say. Are you comfortable with being the one who doesn't know something in the room? There's some we have that don't want to walk in the room and let the people around know that they don't know.
Right. Right.
But like, why do that? Because you feel like inferior in your own self. I don't have a problem with being like, damn, you know, what was this thing you just said? Because though you might know it, when I know it, I'm about to be a whole nother level than you.
Right. Right.
So, you know,
right.
I know this about myself. So it's kind of, you know,
right.
it's
right.
some things where, yeah.
Yeah, no, yo, that's the best example that I ever heard was like a baby falls 100,000 times and never gives up and thinks it can't walk.
Right.
So in that's the humility and the grace of I don't know. Like I'm still trying to walk right now, and every aspect of my life, I'm still figuring out how to walk.
Right.
How could that ever be a problem?
Right.
You mad at me for trying to walk and saying I don't know how to walk?
Right.
I'm trying to walk. But once I figure out how to walk, I'm running past all y'all. Because y'all over here busy worried about if I can walk or not. Why do you even care?
Right.
Y'all should be training.
Right.
Because when I catch you,
yes,
I see you not training because you're busy watching everyone else.
Yes. Yes. It's up. It's up. You know what I mean? And I'm taking a long list of everyone that was like, this motherfucker can't even walk. Look at him. Yeah, I mean, I'm like, okay.
100%. All right, look. I got Pastor King's queued up. Look, I had an idea. If you cool with it, I came across my my Kemetic Oracle cards, the Kemetic Tarot.
Yeah.
Right, these joints.
Yeah. Ooh.
So I thought we could end the show with the pull of the card, and then the following week we'll tell you what the card means.
Okay.
Come back next week, but it'll be your card for the week to the next week. So I'm gonna bust Passion of the Kings, and then I'll close out with the cards gonna be, and we'll do our little outro. How does that sound?
Perfect.
I like it. All right. So we give y'all man. What a sign. What a image also for the album cover.
Yeah, we're legendary.
We're working, man, all over the place. They just slow here.
All right. So, do enjoy Passion of the Kings, the album. This is the song Passion of the Kings.
Absolutely, and then we'll see y'all next week. All right, we'll go. Bye. Bow. Hey, this is a sign.
Oh, I was about to say, Pootie don't need no words.
Let me show you about the passion of the kings. On the journey we will see our royalty. Let me show you about the passion of the kings. On the journey we will see our royalty.
Emperors, pharaohs, monarchs, and kings, empresses, priestesses, goddesses, and queens, tarot and crystals. I keep my aura clean. Meditation, sage, and hop in my routine. Some green magic and yoga, bend my mind back into time. I see the holes of a mentee, then I'm floating in the now. I'm a sun soldier like Horus, but I'm a moon eclipse with the solar. A music mystery scholar, I move currency, just not dollars. The frequencies for all us, check the pyramids, I'm an artist. No weapon form can harm us, Kundalini magic's what charms us. Then we flying through the cosmos in the astral like I'm Space Ghost. Can't nobody stop me, nah, I'm the Doka Kage.
Let me show you about the passion of the kings. On the journey we will see our royalty. Let me show you about the passion of the kings. On the journey we will see our royalty. Passion of the kings. Passion of the kings of our royalty. Passion of the kings. Pyramids awaken, the sacred torch is lit. My sarcophagus is open and up I sit. I drink the sacred water cause I need nourishment. 10,000 years in darkness, letter I'm made of it. Quantumize the process, gain my strength back just by walking. Shower me in sunlight, need to shine like aqualatin. Drip me down in gold and I flow just like a faucet. Matter of fact, where is the ocean? No denial when I cross it. Now that I'm here, get the fuck up off your knees, bro. Finna have to cook these noodles like some miso. We all studying to show ourselves approved. That's on me, bro. Once you really through the threshold, you can see. So let me show you about the passion of the kings. On the journey, we will see our royalty. Let me show you about the passion of the kings. On the journey, we will see our royalty. Passion of the kings. Passion of the kings. Of the kings. Royalty. Passion of the kings. Let me show you about the passion of the kings. On the journey, we will see our royalty. Let me show you about the passion of the kings. On the journey, we will see our royalty.
Yo,
Yeah.
yeah. I saw the craziest music video to that just now. Yeah, we might have to.
We'll do it.
Yeah, top 5. You know, one of the first 5 has got to be that song.
With that. Oh, your Lifeline was coming on next. That's crazy. All right. Let me know when to stop. That's Passion of the Kings, y'all. We are Dragon Tribe. This is the Television's podcast. Thank y'all for rocking with us on one of the late night tips. It's good. It's real good, real fun.
Yeah.
How we looking? Say when. We just get to one.
Go.
That's right there. And we have the 7 of Scarabs.
Wow. That's plentiful.
Absolutely. Look at that, man.
Bro, what? The Egyptian comedic terror. I got to get one of a deck like that. That's fire.
I'm actually sending them to the machine to get the 444 or the 440, the 444, the King's Chamber.
Cool.
I figure that's perfect because it has the foil.
Yeah, that's amazing. Send me a link to those for sure.
I got you. So next week, check back in with us and we'll tell y'all what that card is all about. But that will be the card that's going to go with you for this week. All right, the energy of that. And then next week, you're going to go back and reflect on it and be like, damn, that really is the kind of week I had. That's crazy.
Right. Well, this is Dragon Tribe Televisions. If you can't take the heat, stay out the kitchen. You know what I mean? Stay tuned with us each week. You know what I mean? I'm Mama Ra.
I'm Halo Marquise with Dragon Tribe.
Indeed.
Travel safe, y'all.
I will say the ethers. Namaste.
Namaste. Peace.